Hello and welcome to our World Mental Health Day celebration, brought to you by the Wellness Experience by Kroger. My name is Rodney McMullen, Chairman and CEO of the Kroger Co.
And I'm Colleen Lindholtz, President of Kroger Health. The Wellness Experience by Kroger platform is founded on our company's purpose, which is to feed the human spirit. And who better to help us do that than our partner, singer-songwriter, and mindfulness expert, Jewel.
Today we will build on the success we've had on this journey with our second annual World Mental Health Day Summit and concert. We know that mental health is a crucial part of total wellness for our communities, families, and workplaces.
Absolutely, Rodney. And today's event is packed with physical, emotional, and mental health inspiration. It's awesome. There's cooking demonstrations, fitness workouts, inspirational talks that our experts are giving to really connect with people. So I'm really excited about this day, and it's all hosted by Jewel.
So do they have your workout in this as well?
My workout? Absolutely not. We're talking about experts right now, Rodney, fitness experts. No Spartan obstacle course, but really energizing workouts at all levels, which is great that all different kinds of people can do, no matter what level of fitness that you are.
Yeah, I think your last point's really important. Each one of us starts out at a different place.
Yes.
And do what's right for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what our overall wellness experience platform is about. It's about meeting our customers and really us meeting ourselves along our health journey, like wherever we are in life, just taking one step at a time, one day at a time.
Yeah. I know I walk almost every morning, and for me, it's really good for my personal mental health. It's just think about different things and kind of get ready for the day.
Yeah, like clear your mind.
Absolutely. Our hope is that you'll learn something new about mental wellness that you can take into your own life, your own community. And each of us together, we make the world healthier and a happier place.
Now let's go get it. And we hope, by the way, that we feed your human spirit today and that we inspire you to live a healthier life.
And that's what it's all about, is helping each other and helping each other feed your own spirit.
Yep. As you would say, making the world a better place, Rodney.
Absolutely. And enjoy.
Thank you so much, Rodney. Thank you so much for our partnership. I'm very, very proud of the work we do with Kroger. Thank you to Colleen and Scott and everybody at the Kroger family for the work you do to feed the human spirit. Getting to see what you guys did during the COVID epidemic was just inspirational. From the flu vaccines to your motto of feeding the human spirit has been incredible. Also really want to thank One Mind and our partnership. It's a pleasure and a delight to be able to do this work, to help other people with their mental health so that people don't struggle. There's no need to struggle alone, not in this day and age. Again, this all supports our foundation, the Inspiring Children Foundation. We give children who are at risk not only psychological tools so that they can take control of their own happiness and rewire their brain so they can make a habit out of happiness, but we also teach them tennis and entrepreneurial skills so that they can really thrive in today's world. And our stats speak for themselves. 99% of our kids earn their own college scholarships. 90% of them are Ivy League. And we're the #2 tennis academy in the country. So this work works. So please donate. Every dollar helps. It all goes directly into the foundation. Thank you all for joining us.
Hi everyone, my name is Cheryl Odell, and I am a youth in Jewel's Inspiring Children Foundation who personally struggled with their mental health. I used to struggle with severe depression and anxiety, and at the age of 13 I attempted to take my own life twice. But through Jewel's program that's been arming youth with physical, emotional, and mental health tools for 20 years, which is wild, I was able to go on this beautiful healing journey in my life and really take accountability for my happiness and figure that out for myself. And I'm really grateful to be standing here at Stanford University as a freshman, happier than I ever could have imagined in my life. This is my favorite mental health spot, and super grateful for our partnership with One Mind as well, who has been an OG in the mental health movement and space, one of the world's largest research organizations for mental health. And just so grateful for the work that they do and being able to call them a partner of this event. And yeah, I just hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you're able to take, a little piece of wisdom or some tools that will help you in your personal life, because I sure know that the tools I've learned from the people running this event have helped me. So it is with great honor that I get to introduce you to our next guest, Cheryl Burke, who is a star on Dancing with the Stars and a mental health advocate and lived experience expert. Enjoy.
I'm Cheryl Burke, professional dancer, podcaster, YouTuber, entrepreneur, wife, and Frenchie lover, and I will be your active session host for today. I am so excited to be a part of this summit. Mental health is so important to me, and I just love the work that One Mind and Jewel's Foundation is doing, which you can learn more about and donate by clicking the donate button that you see right here below, or you can go to the wellness-experience.com. I am so passionate about the work that they're doing because of my personal experiences when it comes to my own mental health journey, the trauma I've endured, and not only talking about my experiences, but more importantly, talking about how I've overcome some of the trauma I've dealt with and currently still dealing with to this very day. That's why I am so ecstatic to be able to be a part of World Mental Health Day and share these incredible videos with you all. Coming up, Tone It Up trainer Stacey Thomas to lead you through a workout and yoga session. I'll see you guys later.
Food. We all love it. From the picky eaters to the family feeders, the first daters and the celebrators, the wine and cheesers and the lemon squeezers. We sell groceries to America. But that, my friends, is just the beginning. Because we believe that fresh, delicious, memory-making, mouth-watering food that you dream about should be available to everyone, every day, in every way. And that's what we're doing, without pomp, pretension, or premium pricing. And while our days may be filled with cart pushing, cookie baking, innovating, produce picking, and trunk stuffing, food, delicious, fresh, affordable food is at the absolute center of everything we do. But we are more than just meticulous meat slicers, cupcake frosters, or apple aficionados. We are meal makers, belly fillers, community builders, friendly-facing, name-remembering, passionate people who just happen to have an obsession for food, for meals, and for making memories. So, whether it's picking out the perfect peanut butter for her first day of school or icing the cake for his long-awaited retirement, we've got them covered. We always have, and we always will. Because we're fresh for everyone.
For joining. Nice hot, we're gonna do hot yoga today. How about that? Perfect, awesome. So that said, make sure that you guys are all hydrating. Absolutely very, very important. Make sure you're drinking water all throughout class. There's some water right over here to your right. Yeah, we're gonna just move through a 30-minute flow. I am excited to just flow with you girls in real life. It's been amazing to work out with everybody in the Tone It Up app. We have HIIT, we have strength training, we have yoga, there's meditation. Karina sends all of her love as well. But yeah, it's gonna be great. We're gonna flow with her, flow for her, and yeah, who's ready? Woo! Okay. So we are going to start down on our mats, laying down in Shavasana. So go ahead down onto your back. And I want you to bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. And just feel your breath. Just breathing in and out. Just feeling that breath underneath your heart. And as your belly rises and falls, yeah? Just taking this moment here to be with you. And just know that we're all busy, yeah? We all have a lot of things to do, but right now, for the next 30 minutes, this is all about you. This is your practice, this is your time. This is also your body, so do what feels good to you, yeah? That's the most important. Beautiful. On your next inhale, start to draw your knees into your chest, giving yourself a little hug here. And maybe rocking side to side a little bit if that feels good. And now if it's comfortable on your back, you can rock and roll. Otherwise, you can roll over to one side and just press yourself up into a tabletop pose. With all of us meeting here, our hands directly underneath our shoulders, our knees under our hips. And I want you to inhale as you reach your heart towards me. And then exhale, dome in your upper back, push your heart up towards the sky. Awesome. Taking that a few more rounds. Inhale, radiate your heart forward. Beautiful. Now exhale, your back goes up towards the sky, push the earth away. Amazing. One more round here. Inhale it forward. Exhale it out. Awesome. Come back into that crescent pose. Reach your arms all the way up. Keep your core super, super strong here, right? So that's going to be our basis here. Holding us in this twist. Inhaling up. And then exhale, twist it open into that crescent. If you did so on the first side, let's go ahead, bring your hands to your heart and find that deeper twist here. Awesome. Just keeping your feet really stable. Open up your arms if you did so on the first side. Amazing. Awesome. Now inhale, reach it up. Come back into that warrior two. Awesome. Find that heel to arch alignment. Beautiful. Everyone's doing so good. Flip your left palm, reach it out towards me. Inhale, reverse it all the way back. Exhale, left elbow to your left thigh, reaching your right arm towards the sky. Amazing. Beautiful. Now on your next inhale, let's reach it all the way back, reverse it, straighten your front leg, and then exhale, come into this triangle pose. Utthita Trikonasana. Awesome. So your front leg is straight, yeah? You're using your core here to keep you in this pose. Awesome. Beautiful, everyone. Amazing. Take one more inhale. You're doing great. I see you. You're doing great. Now use that right oblique. Let's lift it all the way back. Reverse your triangle. And then exhale, windmill your hands down. Plant your right palm here. Let's lift your left arm up towards the sky. Awesome. Beautiful. So again, we're going to focus on this back foot here, yeah? So I want you to roll onto the knife side edge of your back foot, coming into a side plank, and you so slowly bring your left leg behind you, opening it up into a wild thing. Awesome. Beautiful. Take one more inhale here. Next exhale, plant your left palm, come back into that plank pose, move through a vinyasa, or you can meet us in downward facing dog. Awesome. Beautiful. Come down onto your knees. Grab another sip of water here. You guys crushed it. Awesome. I loved it. Who's having fun? Woo, woo, woo. Awesome. What's that? Yeah. No, this is great. Thank you. Awesome. Great job, everyone. All right. So we're going to do just a little cool down here, okay? So go ahead. Let's come into a child's pose. So bring your knees to the edges of your mat. Reach your arms towards the front. Awesome. Just resting here. Maybe you reach your arms over towards the left side, feeling that stretch through the right side of your body. Awesome. And then tiptoe your hands over to the other side, feeling that across your left intercostals. Amazing. Beautiful. Now come back into the center. Go ahead, let's sit up on to our booties, yeah? So just, you can face one side if you'd like. We're gonna go ahead, let's bring our legs wide. And I want you to reach one arm over towards your right side, finding this stretch across your body. Beautiful. Awesome. Let's go ahead, let's bring it all the way up, bring it over to the other side. Amazing. Bringing it back up in towards the center. I want you to bring the soles of your feet to touch, your knees just butterfly open here. Take an inhale here, reach your heart towards me, and then lower it down towards the mat. Awesome. Beautiful. Awesome. Now lift your torso up. I want you to bring your knees together, close them like a book, and let's go ahead and lay down onto our mats. Awesome. So coming all the way down here, giving yourself a big hug like you did at the start of class. Awesome. Maybe find a couple rocks side to side. Awesome.
Don't know what to say to you now.
Awesome. Now bring your feet down onto the mat. We're gonna find a little bridge pose here. So your feet are hip distance apart. Go ahead, lift your hips up towards the sky. Really pressing the earth away with your palms, with your heels. Awesome. Keeping your feet hip distance apart. The simple meaning of namaste is that love and that light that was right underneath your palms also exists in me. And we see you, we recognize you, we absolutely adore you. And thank you so much for spending the last 30 minutes with me. Namaste.
Once again, let's give a big round of applause to Stacy for that amazing session. Did everyone enjoy that?
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
So today we're working with Kroger's Simple Truth brand. It's natural and organic and free from over 100 artificial preservatives. So here's our spicy harissa breakfast tash.
Gorgeous.
I'd like to drizzle it with some tahini.
Yum. Kroger wants to help you get a fresh start with their affordable organic food products, Simple Truth.
And how about inexpensive and organic in the same sentence? How cool is that, right?
Pretty nice to have.
Affordable organic. Who thought that day would come?
Okay, now, from the beginning.
So now I want to show you guys something that I've been working on with my good friend, certified therapist, YouTube sensation, author of her new book that just launched, Traumatized, podcaster, entrepreneur, and fellow dog lover, Katie Morton, who is here with me right now. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Cheryl. It's great to be here. And I'm just so excited to be partnering with you on this dance program called Body Language.
So Katie, why don't you tell the audience why dance and body language, especially our dance program, is connected to movement and therapy and why it's a therapeutic experience as a whole?
Well, oftentimes when we are having a tough time, we're pushed into what's known as our stress response, otherwise known as fight or flight, right? And our body cues us up to take action, but oftentimes there's no action that we can take. And by initiating the movement therapeutically through body language, through dancing, through this movement, we can release all of the energy and actually improve our mood and help us feel better.
That sounds amazing. And can you do this in the comfort of your own home, or do you need to be in a ballroom?
You can do it anywhere. Wherever you have enough space for your body and maybe your hands to shake out, you're good.
And how about dance experience? Do you need dance experience or a partner?
No, and I have neither. So we're going to make this work.
That's amazing. Well, Katie and I are so excited to show you a sneak peek of what you can expect. So here it is, body language.
Do you want to start?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Let me just start off by saying how much I absolutely love therapy. So therefore, I automatically loved you the moment I stalked you on YouTube.
I'm Katie Morton, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist who's been creating educational mental health content online for almost 10 years now.
Wow. And I'm Cheryl Burke, and I have a little bit of dance experience, but my true love is therapy and mental health. And I decided to partner with Katie over here on something I have been working on for a while, a therapeutic experience called Body Language, designed to help you heal your body and mind through the power of dance, and
it's backed by science. When our body is under threat, it goes into fight, flight, or freeze, otherwise known as our stress response. And what our system is doing is it's getting us ready to take action.
I'm definitely familiar with that. But to clarify, what exactly is a threat and why do we freeze sometimes?
That's a great question, but a threat is anything that threatens our emotional or physical safety. Our brain is wired to constantly survey our environment looking for any threat to our safety. And when it comes upon one, it assesses. Can I run or can I fight? And if I can't do either, I have to freeze. And through the research by Dr. Peter Levine, we learned that PTSD isn't just treated by thinking and feeling. It's also treated through moving the body. And he calls this type of therapy somatic experiencing.
Through my decades of experience as a professional dancer, I have seen firsthand the healing powers of movement. I personally have experienced trauma, as you know, Katie, and dance has honestly been very therapeutic. I've realized that our bodies have a language of their own, and when I pour my emotions into movement, it is life-changing. And I have seen it firsthand change the lives of countless others around me. So I knew that there must be a connection. So what is body language? Well, it's an online course that will teach you how to heal through movement.
And you do not, I repeat, do not need dance experience for this.
Nope.
And you don't need a partner. And also, this is not another workout program, thank God.
Definitely not. All you need is the willingness to acknowledge your authentic feelings as we take you on a journey to change your mood, boost your energy, and move forward as a stronger, healthier you.
We believe that giving yourself a few minutes a day where you focus inward on your mental health and connecting with your body will create a domino effect of positivity in your life.
We hope you will join us in bringing dance and therapy together to find a renewed sense of self and a deeper healing along the way.
So we hope you enjoyed our sneak peek of body language launching very soon. And I'm so excited to announce that we will be working with the Wellness Experience by Kroger to bring body language to you all live in person next year. So make sure you stay tuned for more details coming up. Also, please make sure to check back on me and Katie's social media platforms, details posted right below, for new info about body language coming your way very soon. So next, we have one of Jewel's favorite experts, Dr. Blaise Aguirre from Harvard's McLean Hospital. Blaise and our youth from Jewel's Inspiring Children Foundation will share a simple meditation you can do anytime, anywhere, and do a Q&A to simplify this amazing practice that has been proven to improve our mental health. Also, please remember this is a fundraiser for two incredible organizations. To learn more and to donate to One Mind or the Inspiring Children Foundation, click the button below or go to the wellness-experience.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Selena Williams and I'm a part of Jewel's Inspiring Children Foundation. As someone who's experienced anxiety and a range of mental health challenges, I'm extremely passionate about this subject and very, very grateful for the research that One Mind has been doing for nearly 30 years. They're definitely one of the first in the mental health space and a leader and an innovator. So I'm extremely grateful to them and to Jewel and the Inspiring Children Foundation for helping me through tough times in my life, and not only doing that, but giving me the tools and the community and the support to really build a thriving mental health landscape and to now be able to share that with others. We have Cheryl here. She's one of my best friends, and she's a freshman at Stanford University, and she can tell you a little bit more about herself.
I'm Cheryl, like Selena said, and I'm also part of Jewel's Inspiring Children Foundation, and they've helped me tremendously with my mental health. When I was 13, I was struggling with anxiety and depression and suicidal thoughts, and really just all my thoughts and feelings in general. And I'm really grateful to get to introduce Dr. Blaise Aguirre from Harvard. And he's been like a personal hero and foundation hero for us, and has helped mentor us and train us and help us to support each other with our mental health. And I guess to kick it off, I thought a good question to start with is, I know you deal with a lot of very like extreme mental health cases, and I'm curious what you found to be the most helpful tool in helping people, find happiness again.
If I were to say like the single most useful tool long term, I would say the practice of paying attention very, very carefully to the present moment. And it's a tool that we call mindfulness. It's very, very exciting, because I think that once you're able to pay attention mindfully, then what happens is you're able to use all the other tools that we have. So the one that I find long-term and best is mindfulness.
I totally agree. Mindfulness and really just the awareness that I am not my thoughts has been really huge in my life. And then beyond that, something that's been really huge in my life lately has been not only the decision to let go of my thoughts and to choose to be present, which is really, really cool, and I feel encompasses mindfulness in its essence, but also the practice of taking that skill of awareness and then being aware of recurring thoughts and recurring challenges, and then using therapy or just talking things out to get to the root of maybe those triggers or those challenges, so that I can not only like trim the weeds of my thoughts, but really pull them from their roots.
I would have to like wholeheartedly agree with everything you guys said. I think realizing that I'm separate from my thoughts has been like the most powerful realization in my whole life. And I feel like for me, meditation has been a really powerful tool in helping me cultivate mindfulness in my daily life. But I think mindfulness as a whole has been really transformative for me. I'm in college now, and even before college, I think I've experienced a lot of people that struggle with like the perfectionist mindset. And so people like that are trying to do mindfulness think they have to like do it in this perfect way and be perfectly mindful all the time. And if they get lost in their thoughts, then they're mad at themselves because they got lost in their thoughts. So how can you kind of navigate that perfectionist mindset in mindfulness?
And so we sometimes think of perfection as a kind of some sort of judgmental ideal that we have in our head. And it tends to sink us, because we're constantly aspiring to that. But you're perfect as you are right now. Now, that doesn't mean that there's no room for improvement. There's no question about that. But in this present moment, you're perfect as you are. Let's get better at being perfect in the sense. Like, that means learn more, acquire more understanding of yourself, and then, you'll move on. But it just makes sense that you are where you are at that present moment in time. And that is perfect in this present moment.
What's cool about all these, I feel like answers, they've all kind of intertwined with mindfulness, with like separating from the doubts, the fears, the anxiety, whatever it is, and like recognizing that we can choose how we respond to that. I thought it would be a nice timing to try like the 10-second breathing meditation if you guys want to do that. Selena, would you want to run us through 10 breaths?
Yeah, I would be happy to. It is not about never having a thought, but rather noticing thoughts and noticing when you're lost in thought, and then simply bringing yourself back. So we're going to close our eyes, and on our in-breath, count 1, exhale 2, inhale 3, up to 10, and then back down to 0. We can all begin by closing our eyes and start. you can open your eyes now. And if you noticed yourself lost in thought, then fantastic, you did it right. You're human and thoughts come up. And by simply starting and engaging in that practice, you are strengthening your mental health, your ability to be present and aware and engaged in your life.
Well, thank you so much, Blaze, for just taking the time to have this conversation with us. You've been really impactful in my life, so I'm just really grateful to know you. And then if you're looking for more mindfulness resources, you can visit our jewelneverbroken.com website, created by the singer-songwriter Jewel, with different mindfulness exercises that have helped her navigate her mental health. And our foundation also runs a Twitch channel called Inspire House, twitch.tv/InspireHouse. It is my joy to lead like little meditations and mental health conversations on there. So feel free to check it out, twitch.tv/InspireHouse.
Wasn't that wonderful? I'd like to thank Dr. Aguirre as well as the Youth Foundation for being so honest, open, and vulnerable. To learn more about the Inspiring Children Foundation and One Mind, as well as to donate, make sure you click the button below or go to the wellness-experience.com. Well, guys, that's it for the active sessions. Coming up, we have our nutrition section. I'm going to pass it off to your nutrition host right now. So enjoy, and sending you all so much love and light. Bye for now.
Ah, food. We all love it. From the picky eaters to the family feeders, the first daters and the celebrators, the wine and cheesers and the lemon squeezers. We sell groceries to America. But that, my friends, is just the beginning. Because we believe that fresh, delicious, memory-making, mouth-watering food that you dream about should be available to everyone, every day, in every way. And that's what we're doing, without pomp, pretension, or premium pricing. And while our days may be filled with cart pushing, cookie baking, innovating, produce picking, and trunk stuffing, food, delicious, fresh, affordable food is at the absolute center of everything we do. But we are more than just meticulous meat slicers, cupcake frosters, or apple aficionados. We are meal makers, belly fillers, community builders, friendly-facing, name-remembering, passionate people who just happen to have an obsession for food, for meals, and for making memories. So, whether it's picking out the perfect peanut butter for her first day of school or icing the cake for his long-awaited retirement, we've got them covered. We always have, and we always will. Because we're fresh for everyone.
Hi, I'm Nicole Calhorn. I came through and more recently am now a board member of the Inspiring Children Foundation. Even more recently, I'm also the director of the Wellery at SaxWorks. The Wellery is our physical, emotional, and mental health arm. Specifically, we focus on infusing the notions of integrative health throughout our ecosystems and our spaces. Today, I'm your host for this nutrition session, and I'm excited. We have a couple treats in store for you. But before we get started, I wanted to touch on One Mind's meticulous research around mental health. One thing that we learned with them was how core nutrition is to our physical, emotional, and behavioral health. I remember 20 years ago at the Inspiring Children Foundation, we had a phrase that was, eat right equals feel right. Today, that still applies. It's still a core foundation of the Inspiring Children Foundation, and I found this to be very true. Nutrition is one of those elements of our health that we find so easy to neglect, whether that's our day-to-day environment or up until recently, our economic circumstances. Right now, nutrition's more accessible than it has been in the past, and so I'm excited to partner with One Mind and the Inspiring Children Foundation to be able to spread this news. So, through our cooking demos, we'll explore the notion of healthy eating and nutrition. First, don't forget to donate and learn more about the Inspiring Children Foundation and One Mind and the incredible work that they do. You can do this by either clicking the link below or visiting the wellness-experience.com.
I care so deeply about
improving life for people who've experienced similar issues as I've experienced. For me, it was the scariest and darkest time of my life when I was symptomatic with schizophrenia. I still experience glimmers of what I had experienced back then, but I can manage them now. I know how, and I want to help others understand how to manage those things. People with different conditions, how to manage their condition, and help them through the programs that One Line funds.
Tangentially, One Mind has also been working towards making integrative health accessible to all. One Mind has raised over $500 million in funds dedicated towards research and early detections for mental illness amongst youths. In the same court, the Inspiring Children Foundation has spent the past 20 years democratizing the tools for physical, emotional, and mental health for at-risk youth around the country via different grassroots approaches, also including project-driven learning. They take the most impactful tools from psychology and different principles and instill them and infuse them into the ecosystems in their day-to-day lives. Please join us in the fight to raise funds, awareness, and resources for those in need. Please consider donating by clicking the link below or visiting thewellness-experience.com. So for now, let's join us in getting ready to meal prep with Kroger and Bobby Summers.
Great. Well, hi everybody. My name is Laura Brown. I am a registered dietitian that works for Kroger Health. We provide nutrition counseling via Zoom, so you can take the advice of a dietitian just right from the comfort of your own home. So definitely make sure to check out that service that Kroger is offering. And I'm here today to provide just some nutrition information while Chef Bobby cooks up some delicious meals.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chef Bobby. I work with the Kroger Wellness Your Way experience. I am a chef, a private chef. And today we're going to be making a baked salmon. Now, they'll have a little adobo seasoning on top with spring salad, with citrus spring salad, and honey Dijon vinaigrette. Today, what I want to get ready to prep for you guys, it's going to be very simple. It's actually a very simple, very quick dish. I have some salmon here. They got here from the local Kroger that I actually use. This is my Bartonville Kroger. And I'm actually really good friends with the butcher and the baker and the cheese lady there. I do have a food business that my wife runs that I cook for. And that is a store that I use almost everything that I prep for my clients. I do live out in the country a little bit, so I do love fresh quality. I do get a lot of farm fresh quality from a lot of the farmers around here. But the Bartonville Kroger, they like to get a lot of stuff locally as well. So getting the stuff that I get from there is just like getting it from my neighbors around here. So right here, we have salmon. The salmon is going to be simple. We got about 3 to 4 servings of salmon a week is good enough for you. 2 to 3 about this size is going to be good enough for you during the week. And that's as far as you taking extra pills or anything like that. If you're one of those people that likes to just get everything out of your food, then this is going to be where your omegas are going to come from. Just get them straight from your salmon. There's going to be no need to take any extra supplements or anything like that. One thing I just pulled right there, I noticed that we had a little bone. So I will check. I'll just check to see if we have anything there. So I'll have these set up. I have a little bit of adobo and a parsley that I'm going to put on top.
That looks delicious, Bobby. And I'm so glad you chose a salmon recipe for today, because like you said, salmon is high in omega-3 fatty acids, which are so crucial for our brain health. So important for us as humans, as human beings, and important then for our mental health as well.
And it's funny that you say that, Miss Laura, because that's one thing that I deal with a lot. The whole way that I made it into the wellness experience was because just flat out, I'm a mental health patient. Yes, I'm a veteran, and there's circumstances behind it, but today I'm just a mental health patient. And instead of just looking to only help a certain group of mental health patients or just mental health people that are dealing with what I'm dealing with, I just want to deal with everybody. And it's funny that you say that because I cook for my mental health. I started finding out that the food that I eat is directly impacting the way that I'm feeling and the stuff that's already wrong with me. The choices of the food that I have, it's directly affecting that stuff as well. As a nutrition coach, not at your level, but just as, you know, at the beginning level, as just a nutrition coach, everything starts with your mind. Like you can't start a workout on a Monday. You can't do anything if you're not really just ready to do it in your head. So if you're not ready to do it mentally, then you can't do anything at all.
Yeah.
Even though it's a really simple dish, I guess it's you pick it a little something fancy. Being a chef, it's something that I wanted to, I don't know, give you something pretty. I like pretty food.
Well, and if it looks good, it's going to make you feel good. It really all comes full circle. So I think it's really important to make your food look good and your plate look good.
And that's the truth about humans, period. We're visual people. We're visual beings. Everything, it attracts you visually first, and then from there you decide if it's something that you want to do or something that you don't. We've all had that dish that it looked so pretty on the menu or it looked really good, a dish, a drink, whatever it was. And once you actually got it and you tasted it, it was something other than what you thought, you know, it wasn't what the flavors that you expected.
And right now you're segmenting the citrus fruits.
Yes, we're segmenting the citrus fruit. So when you eat an orange, there's a lot of skin in the orange, period. You'll have a lot of skin. Once you peel it, all of that white membrane, this just makes it look prettier. You could literally just peel it out and do it normal. But this just gives it a really better look. It's really aesthetic. And then when you're eating it, you don't have all those fibers, those extra little fibers in there when you're chewing it up.
I love the addition of the citrus fruits in this recipe. Super high in vitamin C.
Yes.
And obviously that is something that is just a buzzword right now. Not only are we living in a global pandemic, but we also have flu season that is now here. So, you know, vitamin C is so important for helping to keep us healthy, fighting away colds and the flu and keeping our immune system super strong. So any opportunity that you have to add citrus fruits into your daily routine, whether that's enjoying it in the morning at breakfast time or topping it on salmon, is fantastic. So I absolutely love that.
And especially at these times, because it's now more than ever, I'm pretty sure you're getting more calls than you ever have, just questions about being just healthy. Now everybody's concerned about their health. And I think that's the one thing, which nothing about this pandemic is good, you know what I mean? But if you have to try to find some kind of light, this is forcing us to look at our metabolic health, at what we're doing to ourselves. So once everything's done, let's get the salad out and ready. And of course, all the stuff, this goes off of your preference. Salads, what's my preference for organic? If it goes directly into my mouth, just with the skin and everything, that's when I'll go for organic. If I want to peel it or something like that, then I'll go for conventional. But I like to get all of my salads. I like to get organic salads. And this right here, these mixes that I grab right out of Kroger, it's just amazing. It's the mix that I need. It's the quality that I need, and it's not the jacked up price that I would get at some of these other places. As you can see, just the difference that you have here with these spring greens, just a big variety. Some of them kind of have like a smoky flavor. And
keep in mind, a serving size for green leafy vegetables is a full cup. Any other vegetable, it's a half of a cup, but with those green leafy vegetables, they take up a little bit more space, so you want to aim for a full cup for those.
I like to toss it around because it'll coat it coats the leaves with all of the citrus, the natural citrus juice, before we put the vinaigrette on there.
And what are you topping the salad with right now?
The salad, so inside I put, I want to say a little bit of, a little under half of the segments, of both segments, and the avocado. So everything's just not sitting on the top. Usually when you get a salad, everything's really on the top. That's when you go for it. And that's when most people don't finish their salad, because it's just only the greens. And this part right here is, I like to just mix it all the way in, so you have everything with all of it.
That is a great tip, to mix half of the ingredients in and then top on top. anything that you can do to make those green leafy vegetables taste really good to you. So if that means some nice toppings, a little bit of salad dressing, those things can go a long way, because we want to aim for at least 3 servings of vegetables per day, more the better. But to be completely honest, most of the population does not get anywhere close to that. So if there's a way to make vegetables taste better for you, and that's mixing in some ingredients in a salad, using a salad dressing, using a dip, go for it.
And that was one of the ways I found out my kids would eat the salads. So being a chef, I do make my kids eat stuff like this, and my kids will actually eat this actual dish. But it has to look, for kids, everything has to look great.
Absolutely. You eat with your eyes first, and kids are just the unfiltered. Yeah, they're the unfiltered of us. So they're going to tell you exactly how it is, and they want it to look good before they're even going to try it.
So right here, I guess every chef, it's like anybody. Everybody has their way of making everything and their way of everything being the best in a certain way. I have found in my years of cooking, it's 350 degrees, a piece of salmon for 8 minutes. In my kitchen, that's what always works for me. That's what's always getting it. That's what always has it ready. As you can see, if you look right inside, you'll see it's still juicy, it's still flaky, it's not dried out at all. And that usually works for me we're just gonna transfer them over. Normally I would just let this rest. You wanna just let it rest. Oh my God, I'm so proud of it. This looks beautiful. I wish I could sit here and hand this to everybody that's sitting down right now. Hopefully one day I will get a chance to cook for you, and this will be one of the things that I do put on the dish for you guys. But this is the finished product right here, and you have your it's just a baked salmon with this has an adobo seasoning with the herbs and the citrus green mix. With I put a feta crumble on top just to cut all the citrus. If you notice, there was some lemon juice. We had the grapefruit and the orange. That's gonna just sting a lot. So what's gonna calm all that down will be once you hit the avocados, and then the feta on there will make everything just sit on your palate just really perfectly. I really enjoyed doing this for you guys. Thank you so much. If there's any questions or anything that I can answer, I would really love to.
All right, that wraps up our nutrition section. I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoyed the cooking demos. Let me know what you think. Tell me what your favorite part was. Leave a comment below. For now, I'm gonna pass it off to Colleen Lindholtz, the president of Kroger Health. Colleen, I just wanna pass a big thank you to you and your team. You all deserve a gold medal for bravery for what you did, whether it was testing, vaccinations, or medications during this unprecedented time. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts.
Lindholtz, president of Kroger Health, and I'm happy to welcome you to the health portion of our World Mental Health Day Summit, where we're going to hear from powerful insights from experts and inspiring stories from Kroger associates on how we can improve our physical and mental health by changing our lifestyles. I hope that the stories you'll hear today will inspire you to invest in yourself, eat well, and develop your mental health tools for a healthier lifestyle. Before we dive into our first panel, I wanted to pass it over to one of Jewel's Inspiring Children Foundation ambassadors to share their personal health journey. Remember, you can learn more about the Inspiring Children Foundation at thewellness-experience.com.
So I want to take a moment of silence, and I'm going to ask, and this probably is not how every other speaker has started this, but we have a program with my nonprofit called Battle Buddy Program, and it's a peer mentorship and support group for patients that are fighting pediatric cancer that don't have a network. And our first patient that we helped just had a reoccurrence with a tumor. It's an intestinal lymphoma. It's wrapped around his intestines, and he has quite the road ahead of him. So I just wanted to ask for 5 seconds of silence, prayers, whatever you guys believe in, and please keep him in those prayers. Back to you before I take the mic.
All right, so obviously we're going to talk about a very serious topic, both from Cody's life, but also what he's doing with this walk from the East Coast to the West Coast.
And I think it's important that before we get into all of that, it's important to know who I was. And that was the atypical 14-and-a-half-year-old training for varsity sports, everything from, it was very athletic driven. I wanted to go to West Point. My family was strong in the military, and I wanted to follow suit. And I'm the oldest of 7. We were very family oriented and driven, and we get this news that we had a tumor growing in my leg for about a year. It all started when I took off for a sprint in football and started clutching my ankle, and the doctor misdiagnosed me with Achilles tendonitis, and that quickly led to a year's growth that we went back to the same doctor, and he felt my leg, and he was like, you need to go have an x-ray. I've never felt like anything like this in my life. X-ray showed swelling of a bone, which I didn't even know could happen. I thought you just broke your bone or it grew, and but yeah, you can bubble out. And then the very next day, there was an MRI, and I remember walking out of that MRI room, shaking my head because the tech couldn't tell me anything, but we saw a glowing softball in my leg. So.
And when you get that news, so you're 14 and, you know, kind of just living your life as a 14-year-old, and then you get that, you know, when I was a kid, my mom had cancer, my grandma died of cancer, but I was pretty young, and I didn't really have a frame of reference for what that meant. Did you know what that meant?
No, nobody thinks that cancer especially in high school, like you don't really comprehend it. You're like, that's an old person illness. That's not for you. That's not me. That's none of us. And so when we actually vividly remember, I had almost a passing out spell. So we have a large network in my family, given 7 siblings, et cetera, and everybody's sitting in this room when the doctors are giving me this news, in the prescription, which was 10 months, 14 cycles of chemotherapy, odds of radiation, removal, tumor removal, surgeries on surgeries on surgeries. And I actually felt myself get very lightheaded and wanted to pass out because it was a overwhelming amount of information, especially at that age. So.
All right, so having explained that, did it shift? So with my brother in his experiences in the last year and a half, he's had 2 surgeries, and we've taken turns going with him, right? Like, it's my turn, it's your turn, go with him. And when you're there, nothing else matters. The only thing in the world that matters is that. So as a 14-year-old, if we can all think back to when we're 14, there's things that we worry about, things we obsess about, talk about later in life and laugh at, etc. Did all that stuff go away? Or talk to us about living a 14-year-old life and then having cancer. Did that, what did it do to your mindset?
My battle is very much a tale of 2 cities. It was, in the beginning, it was a completely different battle than halfway through after surgery. The beginning, I thought I was a hot, bald guy that was going to use cancer to pick up girls, and that is no joke. I literally thought that I was going to take advantage of the situation, and maybe some of that is a false naivete or the fighter's mindset, like, oh, this is in the bag, it's just temporary. That quickly changed after halfway through when I had surgery. I went into the knife not knowing if I was going to be able to walk normally again in my life. I didn't know if I would play sports again. And it was literally surgeon's discretion. 1 inch of bone would have laid out the path for everything. And you kind of know, if you work out, that taking time off of a regimen, chemo being this workout, that it always hits you differently when you go a month back to it, right? And that was the same here. So I woke up, was told that they couldn't save any part of my bone, and that I was going to be faced with 25 cycles of radiation due to the cells being too close to the border. And I was told that I would never walk normally again in my life. I would never run, play sports. Everything that I thought I wasn't immediately. So when you're trying to fit in with that high school mindset, trying to, go through puberty, mature, in this path, I've always thought, tell God what your path is, and and He'll laugh at you, right? And we quickly realized after that first cycle of chemotherapy back, I hobbled to my bathroom, knowing that I had still my eyebrows, and I felt an itch on my face. So I did this. I made that simple motion, and I saw hairs. I quickly started scrubbing them out, looked in the mirror, and I had no idea who was looking back at me. It was what I thought was an alien, and I had to deal with that.
So you're 14, 15 at this time, and now you're 25.
25.
As you're talking, it's obvious that you're a very good speaker, you're thought out, you know your story, you know how to tell your story. Expedite the last 10 years to get to this stage, your walk, your foundation, and the work that you're doing.
10 years, here we go. It was a long recovery process. We went through numerous brace stages. We had to work on our micro muscles that we didn't even know we had. You're from the UFC. Rich Franklin ended up becoming my trainer and mentor, helped me through that process, networked with a lot of endurance athletes and trainers that really throughout the whole Cincinnati area to really get me to where I am today. We saw what our battle went through, saw what my family faced, and we wanted to start an organization that really addressed those issues of eviction, divorce, where food was coming from, because families don't need to deal with that. Families need to be able to fight the fight. And so so we really wanted to be that bridge. Going through the whole 10-year process, I had this idea that, can we use my body to spread hope? Because I am lucky, I am very blessed to have been able to even be able to walk right now, unassistedly. So what can we do? And we started a walk from Westchester to Cincinnati first, and that was about 22 miles, and we did that. We raised a few $1,000s, got some local media coverage, and then the more important part after that was we had cancer survivors that I didn't even know were following us, that were in high school, saying, hey, this inspired me to know that I can have hope in my life, that my temporary illness doesn't have to impact the rest of my life. And I was like, well, can we grow that and start doing something to impact not only our community here, but the community across the nation? And we all know how bad 2020 was. And we were like, well, what kind of environment can we impact now that everybody had such a negative year the prior? So we kind of took advantage of that situation per se. To date, we have made it here. We've walked 760 miles, and we are going to Santa Monica. So we have, I don't know, about 2,200 left. So not even a third of the way done, but we're rolling. And we have raised about $60,000 now. So we are growing and really, really excited for what the future holds.
So that's $60,000 in the mileage there, like 1/4 of the mileage. So
right,
if you go at this rate and keep doing what you're doing, the momentum will grow, and the possibility of making over $500,000 raising is very likely.
I hope so. Our goal is $300,000. We figured that monetary amount would allow us to help one family in all of the major cities we've touched, paying all their cost of living bills, paying their mortgage, rent, utilities, food, gas, you name it, provide them with a support system, and send the parents on date nights to allow them to decompress and things of that nature. So if we're able to hit that goal, every city we touch will help one family, and then we'll bring the rest of the money back to the Cincinnati area and help Dayton and Cincinnati families.
I think to reiterate what he said, that if you haven't gone through this personally, you might not might not register, but date nights, groceries, meals, back to school clothes, like that doesn't stop when you're diagnosed. Like
it doesn't. It's cancer is very much a family illness. It's not something that impacts just the patient. And so the whole family, like our idea is provide and build the family unit. Don't and take that whole financial burden off of them for the duration of the battle. And hopefully with the absence of that is positivity, faith, hope, and no child fighting by themselves.
You're walking across America. How much of a factor did the fact that you might never walk again normally play into this walk that you're doing now?
It was the main factor. I felt like if I don't go and show the idea of overcoming consistently, then we won't impact the audience that we potentially could. And so if that means that by the end of this I can't walk, but I've been able to inspire and help kids that are fighting on a regular basis win or stay positive, then my goal has been accomplished.
We're wrapping up here, so again, just your website, social media handle, how people can donate.
championsdoovercome.org website, social media handle, Overcomer Team, and Linktree and the donate button. Please, it'll allow us to help families here in Cincinnati tomorrow.
Perfect. All right, let's give Cody a ginormous round of applause for the work he's doing.
Hey everyone, Corey Mascara here with mindfulness.com. I want to share a simple breathing technique you can use to improve sleep, reduce stress, and feel more grounded. It's called the 4-7-8 breath. What it involves is breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 7 seconds, and exhaling for 8 seconds. So let's try it out together. Breathing in for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Now, exhaling for 8 seconds can sometimes be hard in the beginning. So one of the ways that you can help elongate the breath is imagine that you're exhaling hot air on a cold window, like this, but then close the lips. It should sound something like this. This will constrict the airways, allowing you to exhale longer. So let's try it out one more time that way. Breathing in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. Try this out when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling stressed, when you're trying to relax yourself to go to sleep. It's a great, simple technique. Take care.
Ah, food. We all love it. From the picky eaters to the family feeders, the first daters and the celebrators, the wine and cheesers and the lemon squeezers. We sell groceries to America. But that, my friends, is just the beginning. Because we believe that fresh, delicious, memory-making, mouth-watering food that you dream about should be available to everyone, every day, in every way. And that's what we're doing, without pomp, pretension, or premium pricing. And while our days may be filled with cart pushing, cookie baking, innovating, produce picking, and trunk stuffing, food, delicious, fresh, affordable food is at the absolute center of everything we do. But we are more than just meticulous meat slicers, cupcake frosters, or apple aficionados. We are meal makers, belly fillers, community builders, friendly-facing, name-remembering, passionate people who just happen to have an obsession for food, for meals, and for making memories. So, whether it's picking out the perfect peanut butter for her first day of school or icing the cake for his long-awaited retirement, we've got them covered. We always have, and we always will. Because we're fresh for everyone.
Welcome to the Wellness Experience by Kroger. My name is Ryan Wolfington, and I am proud to work with 4-time Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter Jewel in her efforts to bring physical, emotional, and mental health to the masses in a fun and inspirational way. Today, we have an incredible guest. Patrick Kennedy has been a United States Congressman for over 16 years. You know, the Kennedy family is America's family. You know, growing up Irish Catholic myself, my aunts and uncles looked up to your family. And I have a theory that when they saw John F. Kennedy become president, they thought, well, wait, if he can do that, I can do anything.
That's right.
And as a result, we have a family full of entrepreneurs, and the Kennedys are like a big deal in our household. Jewel and I have a youth foundation called the Inspiring Children Foundation. And about, 2007, 2008, my Uncle Vince and Aunt Alicia brought our kids to DC. And your father, he must have spent hours with our children, not 1 year, but 2 years in a row. And he brought them in his office and he had the dog there, you know, beautiful dog. And he would sit back and tell stories about what he felt was the most meaningful part of his career. And he said the civil rights legislation. So you had a very unique opportunity to work hand in hand with him. He was in the Senate, you were in the Congress. What would you say, looking back, is the most meaningful legislation or work experience that you had when you were a politician?
My dad spent his nearly 5 decades in the Senate really meticulously going after how do we better implement the Civil Rights Act? How do we pass a Voting Rights Act? Because he was there then, and he was an instrumental part of that. How do we amend the Voting Rights Act to make sure it takes into account this, this, and this? How do we get the Fair Housing Act? How do we get the Fair Employment Act? How do we get the Americans with Disability Act, which of course is another extension of civil rights? And then then here I come. And I was the sponsor of the Mental Health Parity and Addiction Equity Act, which in my view was kind of the next generation of this fight, because it said that people with brain illnesses shouldn't be treated any differently by their insurance companies than they would be if they were being treated for a medical or surgical issue.
People of color, much smaller percentage of people are getting the mental health care that they need. But giving kind of some basic tools is helping mitigate either existing issues or issues that are just starting, especially now with COVID. I know you've done a ton. Are you seeing that mindfulness and meditation and exercise and family connections and those things is the research showing that makes a difference?
Well, there's no doubt that your ability to mediate your own emotions and feelings by first identifying those feelings and then not reacting to them, that's just a powerful tool. When I'm a person in long-term recovery, which for me means that I haven't not had to drink or drug since February 22nd, 2011. But I go to daily meetings and I learn from others who are also in sobriety, how do they cope with stresses in life? And it's not hard to figure out who the winners are and what they are doing to be successful. And they're doing all of those things. They're exercising because we know what a big stress reliever, good exercise, aerobic exercises. They do, 12-step recovery, if you are active in it, is essentially cognitive behavioral therapy. It's you overriding your feelings to do things you don't feel like doing, and then getting stronger as a result. And that may seem like so elementary, but no one gives us the guidebook for life, unfortunately, in school or even, as parents. And so we have to learn things that just make our lives a lot easier to live if we learn them earlier in life than if we learn them later on. But either way, it's good to know them. And no doubt that prayer, meditation, exercise, healthy eating, definitely enough sleep. And good social interaction and that takes work. All of those things take work. And of course, there's a reason why there's something called the 7 deadly sins, because people for a long time recognized what are the pitfalls to our existence as human beings. And when you map the 7 deadly sins of pride, anger, greed, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth to your life on a daily basis, you can start to see where you're falling short and work on trying to improve those instincts in you that, if not quelled, can really lead you astray. And if you're in recovery, you get to understand how you are absolutely required to work on all of those every day, because if you don't, you're in jeopardy of needing to drink and drug in order to quelch the angst that comes from not acting by doing the next right thing in life.
I mean, listen, I actually had a complete meltdown in my 20s, and there's a lot to work on, let's just say that. And Brian O'Neill, who you know, was a huge mentor of mine and helped me, get my act together. And I actually went to Hyannisport and I learned how to calm down. I didn't know how to relax. You can be a workaholic to the point I couldn't relax. And you brought up this really good point about excitement. A lot of people think of excitement as a positive. We've been partnering with Dr. Blaise Aguirre at Harvard's McLean Hospital, up where you grew up.
Yeah.
He prescribes meditation, and he's really big on the CBT and the DBT. And, we've found we're getting kids after they've already tried medication, after they've already been through the mental health system, and they didn't have an outcome. It was kind of scary for them because they're thinking, wait, the experts gave me these pills. They took me to these hospitals, and I'm still messed up. What do I do now? When yet a lot of times they're not doing the CBT and the DBT and the meditation and these other, even lifestyle changes. They're not giving them that education, which is free. It's just teaching them. So I really think your videos are amazing. I really like what you talked about, going from one addiction to the other, because I personally think we're all addicted, especially now. I call the young like generation addiction. They're being raised, being taught how to be addicted to social media. But to some extent, but it is interesting. I've been addicted to a lot of things, and workaholic and drugs. And it was interesting how you get a hold of one and then another one tries to pop up. Remember that game?
Whack-a-mole, yeah.
Yeah, whack-a-mole, whatever. And they all try to pop up. So learning how to not let that sneaky little, just even working out can be an addiction if you overdo it. And I think that's really insightful because right now, I don't know, what are the statistics? Is addiction increased in society? I mean, our experience on the ground is it's dramatically increasing. Have you seen that from the big picture?
Well, there's no doubt we already had an epidemic prior to the pandemic. And deaths of despair, as they were kind of euphemistically understood, really suicides and overdoses, are literally lowering the average life expectancy of the average American. We're making great progress in tackling cancer and diabetes and cardiovascular disease because we put a lot of money after those problems. We've spent trillions of dollars going after cancer. Thank God, all my family members have had cancer. But all my family members have also suffered the effects of addiction and mental illness. And that cost to that illness isn't always well managed through the numbers. It's an untold cost, and in that way it means it's very easy to hide that cost and then not to galvanize the kind of political support you need to go up against that challenge and take it on and really address it. So we've been kind of obscuring the real dimension of the suffering and the loss of life, not just from the physical loss of life, but literally people who are basically offline, if you will, for whole years and years of their life, caught up in mental illness or addiction. Addiction is a mental illness, but and in those years they'll never get back. And you ask them about, their life, and it wasn't their own because you were held hostage by your disease. So, but how do you organize a political effort around that can garner any kind of sympathy? Because even though this affects everybody, there's still such inherent antipathy towards people who have these illnesses. And the reasons are pretty clear. I mean, we all know, in addition to ourselves, for those of us who've been through it, others who've had it, and it's very frustrating. The way you manifest these illnesses is not in a very sympathetic way. You're annoying, you're angry, you're bitter, you're resentful, you're selfish and self-centered. I mean, this is not a crowd you want to like go do a march for, because and that for that reason it's been very difficult to get a public health response to these illnesses, and to also put together the funding in terms of brain research that'll better help us identify who's higher risk for certain types of stress. And so that we then know, just as part of your medical record, do you have a family history? Like they do that for every other area of your health. Why don't they do the family history on mental health and addiction? They don't do that. Maybe now they're starting to, but it's probably spotty at best. If we take that mindset, we can apply it to these illnesses, and I think have demonstrably the same, if not better, effect. What we're fixated on is the pill. We're thinking that that's what medicine is. We are in the midst of a revolution, which I think illustrates that medicine has its place, but it's changing the way we think by, as I said, going back to this kind of behavioral therapies that can help us, along with all of these new tools. So while social media has been a real challenge to disconnecting people as opposed to connecting them on a human level, there are benefits to social media in terms of what technology can do to allow you to stay connected to your network.
That thing is very powerful.
Great.
Yeah, I was really blown away by that. Appreciate your time.
All right, man. Thank you.
Weren't those discussions amazing? We'd love to know what you've learned from today's event. Comment in the chat with your favorite insights from today.
I was a very happy-go-lucky kid. I was always playing sports and socializing. I had a lot of friends. I was pretty popular. And then my world pretty much overnight, unfortunately, came crashing down on me. I had insomnia, and then I had my psychotic break. Had a great support network growing up, always had loving family and friends, especially the love of my parents. And they saw that something was not right with me. I wasn't able to articulate myself like I had been before. I was telling them that I was hearing voices. I was very paranoid. So they got me treatment right away, and I firmly believe that early intervention is a must in all cases of psychosis and mental illness. I think that it is maybe the most important factor into getting someone fully recuperated.
I would not be here today standing in front of you if it weren't for all the good work of organizations like One Mind. And I can't stress enough how brain health is very important, and you'll make such a big difference in people's lives. And people like you sure as hell saved mine. So thank you very much.
Hi guys, it's me, Frankie Grande, and welcome to the mental health section of today's summit, made possible by Kroger and all of our amazing partners. We're here to give you tools and to raise awareness and funds for two charities, One Mind and my friend Jewel's Inspiring Children Foundation. Now, I'm no stranger to mental health. It takes a lot of work to be this glittery, shiny, happy person that you see before you today. So I'm very honored to lend my voice to this event on World Mental Health Day. Now, let's get right to the heart of the matter, our mental health. I want to turn it over to the Chief Medical Officer at Kroger, Dr. Mark Watkins. As a veteran, Dr. Watkins served our country in the military and continues to serve our country as a civilian with his team at Kroger Health. Dr. Watkins.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Watkins, Chief Medical Officer at the Kroger Company. Did you know that suicide is the 4th leading cause of death in 15 to 19-year-olds? The consequences of not addressing adolescent mental health conditions extend into adulthood, impairing both physical and mental health and limiting opportunities to lead fulfilling lives as adults. It's important to realize and take care of our youth now in order to help them grow into successful and well-rounded adults. Thank you for joining me, and please go to the wellness-experience.com for more resources on how to help those who may be struggling.
Thank you, Mark, and all of our veterans and their families for their service. I'm very grateful for the work that One Mind is doing around mental health research. It is truly making a difference, helping the healthcare community to understand and treat veterans and everyone who suffers from PTSD, trauma-related brain injuries, and mental illness, which, if it was a form, I would check all of the above. So thank you. Now, that's true, by the way, not a joke. All of the above. Check, check, check. Tell ya, it takes a lot of work to be all this. But I'm doing it. Now, to introduce a great conversation with my friend, singer-songwriter Jewel, president of Saxworth, Amy Nelson, and president of Jewel Inc. and a mental health lived experience expert, Ryan Wolfington.
So I've had the privilege of working with Jewel for close to 7 years now, and one of the original visions was for her to democratize wellness, to bring the tools that she discovered to become physically and emotionally and mentally strong to the masses. And this festival, the Wellness Experience by Kroger, was the dream that came true, and a big thanks to American Greetings for their support and their sponsorship. But I feel really privileged today to talk about the thing that I think got Jewel really excited the most, which is mental health. And not just mental health in the extreme version, but the everyday mental health that we all need. So I'd like to turn it over to Jewel. What motivated you to get into mental health and to create this festival?
I've shared a lot the last couple days about my own journey into feeling like if I wasn't raised in a system that was happy, what is happiness, and is it a learnable skill? And is it a teachable skill? And that one question led me on a really diverse and crazy journey. And it was funny, I was homeless when I got discovered, and I almost didn't sign my record deal because my number one job was to figure out how to be happy, and I knew how much trauma I had and how much emotional baggage I had. And God forbid it work and I get famous. I knew that was another recipe for disaster. So I made myself a promise again that my number one job would be to learn how to be a happy whole human, not a human full of holes. And my number two job would be to learn how to be a musician. And I just never, ever let myself down on that promise. And it was a messy process and nothing perfect. But it made me make really bold decisions to keep that promise to myself. Like at the height of my fame, I quit for 2 years. I didn't make any money. I quit touring. I built all the momentum and I put a stop because I couldn't psychologically handle the level of fame I got. And I had to admit that to myself and say, nothing's worth my happiness. Nothing was worth my sanity. I don't know why I'm unhappy right now, but I have to push pause and figure it out. And that love has always been my first love. I like understanding how we work. I like understanding the mechanics of change. I like creating environments that help other people go, all right. The funny thing about happiness is it's a side effect. You can't try to be happy. It's not a destination like France and go, I found my way to France and I'm never moving. Happiness is a side effect of choices and decisions. And so the only way to do it is experiment with your choices and your decisions. What's motivating those choices and decisions and seeing if it results in happiness. And we have to look at that as a framework because it doesn't come in a pill, sadly, and it doesn't come in a like, and we're learning the hard way.
So Amy, you've been an everyday employee, a company founder, CEO and now president of Saks Works. We're talking about mental health in the workplace. People here might say, well, I can't go to my boss. I can't talk about my mental health or my emotional challenges. They might use that against me. As a leader, what would be your tips for an employee to seek out help from their company?
So I think I can talk about it both as a leader and as an employee, because I wasn't always leading companies. I was a lawyer working at a law firm. I was a lawyer working inside a company. So I know what it's like to be on both sides of this equation. And I always felt as an employee very afraid to talk to my boss or any of my superiors about my own mental health, or if I needed a break, or how I felt, because I thought they might think, well, I'm not very productive or I'm not very good, and they should replace me with somebody who doesn't want to talk about their mental health. But ultimately, I discovered that if I found people within the organization that I knew I could identify with and who would care and not use it against me at work, that I could talk to them and say, look, you know, and it could, you mentioned this, and I think we can think about mental health as this very expansive, scary, scientific even concept. But it can really just be also, I need to sleep more, right? I need to make sure that I'm getting 8 hours of sleep a night, or I need to make sure that I have time to cook healthy meals so that I can bring it to work as lunch. And for me, that kind of manifested in talking about needing a little bit of flexibility and using my health as a way to discuss that with people. And so I would find people within a company that would listen to me and hear me, and then I would provide some tangible, simple solutions that didn't cost money to the company. And I think that's a really great way to start talking about well-being and health at a company. You know, and it can be like, okay, make sure we have a refrigerator in our workplace so we can bring our lunch and put it in. And, you know, that might cost a little bit of money. That was a bad example. But, like, it's a small amount of money. And so things like that can really just start to add up to really create change within a company. And then I also think you should seek out companies that clearly care. You know, when I became a leader of a company, it was very easy for me to commit to caring about my employees' mental health and making decisions that I thought would benefit them, from having, you know, meditation options within our companies to having paid parental leave. We have, at my former company, we had a paid grievance leave, which, I'm sorry, if I can't give my employees 5 days if there's a miscarriage or a death in their family, I shouldn't be in business, right? And I feel that basically about all companies. And so finding companies that really care is important.
So I read this amazing article in the Wall Street Journal, and they highlighted some pretty startling facts. Happiness levels are the lowest in history. Anxiety and depression has doubled, and that was before COVID. Since COVID, 4 out of 10 people identify with having depression or suicidal ideation. So bringing mental health into the workplace is really a necessity right now. And the Wall Street Journal said, in the next 10 to 15 years, the corporate America and the school system is going to have short meditations, gratitude practices, emotional and mental fitness, self-awareness tools, even forgiveness, apology, and conflict resolution tools, and that emotional well-being should be as important as physical well-being in the workplace and in schools. Now, they're saying this is going to take 10 to 15 years. I'm looking at what you're doing. You have a wellness festival that's doing that. You have a school curriculum in Ohio that does emotional and mental fitness. And with Saks Works, you're bringing in that curriculum into corporate spaces now. How do you feel, like, describe what a Saks Works or a corporate environment or ecosystem that's emotionally, mentally supportive looks like?
You know, I have to go to like the macrocosm really quick. First of all, we can't wait 15 years. I don't doubt that, you know, for it to become just a really standard knowable thing. I get that timeline. But we can't wait to start building it, because the pain point is now. People are trying to kill themselves now. It's unacceptable. We can't accept what America, what the world is defining as success if we're wanting to kill ourselves. Like, what did we lose when we left our villages and became an urban species? You know, villages think in holistic systems and everything was closer, and we didn't silo everything. And one of the side effects of urbanization is our doctor became strictly for a metaphysical body, and it was in a building. And then there was school, and it became in a classroom, and it moved into that building. And our humanity got siloed as a side effect of urbanization. And somewhere in a matter of a few short generations, we forgot as a species what to do with pain. Pain's part of life. It's not like that's new. We've always had our hearts broken. We've always suffered trauma. This is not new to humanity. So in a matter of 4 generations, I'd call it, we lost what the heck to do with it. That's sad. And so we have to put the village back into the systems we have. I'm not here to tear down capitalism. I'm not here to tear down school systems. I'm not here to do any of that. I'm here to just insert a layer of curriculum into pre-existing systems that help bring the humanity back. Because we're humans. And we can't keep asking people to show up to work and leave their mental health at home. And we can't keep expecting women to be one thing at home and a different thing at work, or men. And the roles we get asked to play as leaders without the vulnerability, it's too hard to dissect ourselves every day up and show us a different person for my school and then show up to a different person for this friend group and to show up as a different person for my parent. We have to get these systems working holistically again. So because there's not a lot of people that have thought about wellness and breaking down what is it and what is happiness and what leads to happiness, generationally, we kind of get the need for it as a country, but we don't know what it means. It's kind of like this, I mean, what does mindfulness even mean? It's a weird word. I define it as being consciously present. That's it. I'm consciously present, and that means now I can show up in the present moment and figure out what to do. Doesn't mean I'll know what to do or that it'll be comfortable, but the first step is you got to show up first. And our society's building us to be distracted. So for me, where I feel really privileged is, for whatever reason, my whole life has been about this very topic. How do I change? I don't like how I feel. I don't want to kill myself. What do I do different? And just figuring it out and writing it down and taking notes. And then how can I help scale that through existing companies? You know, like with what Amy's doing, what Amy was already doing with her other company, which was, how do I serve the whole person? Because it's a win-win. If you're an employer, if you're an educator, if you're a company and you're trying to solve pain for your humans, they're going to show up more loyal, more dedicated, with more bandwidth, because they're not thinking about killing themselves or the divorce they're going through. It gets to all be part of the discussion. And it's easier than companies think. It's little things like just leading a meeting with vulnerability, being like, you guys, I got pummeled last night. You know, I was in a huge fight with a family member. So I'm going to be a little scattered, but we're going to get through this. Just that, just a leader leading with that, costs no money. It's showing up. It's creating a signal where your employees go, that's okay. You still got to get your job done. That's not the problem. We'll still get our job done, but we can do it acknowledging our humanity. That was a really long answer. I don't know if I helped.
Well, yes, so Saks Works is trying to solve for that, using pieces of Jewel's curriculum, but also physical design. Because physical design of an office space makes a difference. I mean, even look at this stage. We were going to be inside, but because of COVID, we're out here. And I think we'll stay out here for years because this is so beautiful. And what is Saks Works doing to create an intuitive design in programs and physically to make it more emotionally and mentally healthy?
Well, I'll start with physically, and I think it's really interesting when you back up and think about it. We choose where we shop, we choose where we eat, we choose where we live, and we want all of those places to be beautiful. We don't like to go to places that are dark and dingy, but we've never asked that question in the workplace. We're just like, you show up and you sit in an uncomfortable chair, low ceilings with the popcorn, ceiling and the bad lighting, and just deal with it because, I don't know, work is supposed to be pain or something. But at Saks Works, when we think about a physical space, we think, what does it mean to be able to walk into a place and have it feel like, what we hear over and over again is that it feels like a friend's really beautiful home. And like, that is a good place to spend your day. And so even that, I mean, it makes you happy. We have a smell that makes you happy. It's white pepperwood. And then we've really focused on light, biophilia, which is a very fancy word for plants. And then creating, and then at the same time, creating nooks where you can be private if you want to meditate, if you want to be alone, if you need to talk to your kids, which is me always, FaceTiming my children. And I think, all of those things come together to create a space that feels good to work in. And that should be our baseline. Space can be beautiful, even if it's meant for something serious. And I really love it. With the biophilia, we have plants all throughout our spaces. I mean, so many plants. When I got there, as the president of the company, I was like, how much does it cost to water these things? But it's okay, because it really promotes productivity, it keeps people happy, and all that stuff matters. And one last thing that we do on the physical side is we've created these hydroponic racks where we grow herbs and bok choy and lettuces, and every couple of weeks our members get to harvest them and take them home. And it is such a small thing, but it's very cool, and it makes you more connected to food, which is something we've all become so disconnected from, which is a big issue that we have with wellness in this country. So that's how we think about it in the physical side. And then on the mental side of well-being, you know, we really working with Jewel's program and bringing in the option for our members and employees of the SACS and the HBC company to work with coaches. I think it's so nuts. Like, we are so into coaches for our kids who are doing sports, we're into coaches for SAT prep, but we don't think we need coaches as grown-ups, and we do. We need to continually be coached, to continually grow. And the coaching, you know, it really, in terms of thinking of how we can live better as people, how we can be better performers, how we can be more happy and more healthy, so we can show up in all areas of our life in a better way. And so that coaching is really amazing. The final thing that we do is we offer a lot of physical wellness as well. So we have gyms in our spaces, but then we also have something that I think is even more important than working out, which is the rest and the stretching part. And we work with an amazing partner called Body Squad that works to strengthen and lengthen your muscles by stretching.
Hi there, I'm Misha Collins. I'm on set. I guess you couldn't really call this a set. I'm in the parking lot of a new show that I'm working on called Road Food, which is about building empathy by breaking bread together. It's a very lofty ambition. I want to thank Jewel for inviting me to be a part of this enterprise. We have both long had a passion for mental health and for poetry. We both have published poetry books, which is kind of cool. And we're also both, give me 1 second, guys. And we're also both incredibly successful musicians. Oh wait, no, just Jewel is. That's not me at all. Okay, I am going to share with you an unpublished poem of mine as a very relevant segue. The sun is so bright I can't see my computer screen. Into this next segment. This is called The Lake of Life. Last night, in bed in the dark, there were spells of quiet, long stretches when she'd say nothing, and I knew that she was crying. Her father died a year and a half ago. Waves of mourning still come, along with some regret. She said, but I feel like I know him better now that he's gone. When I fell asleep, I dreamt this poem. When you were swimming in the lake of life, you thrashed. Just to be clear, it's when I fell asleep, I dreamt the following poem. Here it comes. When you were swimming in the lake of life, you thrashed and kicked up your head. Your arms slapped the surface waves and water foam. But there's a calm and glassy stillness in the quiet of your death, and I can see far down below to the depths of you that I never knew to love. I think that might be the only poem that I ever dreamt the words to. Okay, we're gonna continue with the story of love and loss and how one can turn the pain of losing a parent into potential for growth and a transformative moment. Of course, it is transformative. So this next talk is from the Wellness Experience by Kroger in 2019. Thanks for having me. Bye. Sorry for all of the ambient distractions.
I had the pleasure of meeting with Rachel again. I've known her since she was little, a couple months ago. And when talking to her about some very difficult situations that took place in her life, I had to ask the one question that I think is extremely important when healing, which was, have you been able to let go of the resentment and the frustration about the circumstances that you were faced with as an 18-year-old, 19-year-old girl? And the response that I got blew my mind. And I'll let her tell you what that response was and take us back to the moment where your life shifted a little bit with a phone call.
April 2018 was when my life changed. I mean, some would say for the worst, but on the 15th, I received a phone call out of the blue. I was at dinner with some of my family, and I received a phone call from one of my mom's coworkers telling me that there had been an accident. So the first thought that I had was that it was a car accident or something, like not as severe, and everything was going to be okay. But the panic in his voice and the noise in the background kind of told me otherwise. So basically, there was a disgruntled employee at this event that opened fire and shot my mom, and she suffered from those injuries and died on site. And so kind of everything after that went by very, very quickly. I remember the company sent a plane over. The very next day, me and some of my family from Virginia flew out to Vegas, and then that entire week kind of just unraveled before us.
When did you get a chance to first start taking care of your healing process?
So I don't think I internalized anything of that magnitude for maybe a couple months. I remember when everything kind of unfolded, I was numb and I just threw myself into anything I could just to avoid being depressed or getting stressed out about other things. But it wasn't until, I would say, August 2018 when it really hit me and I really hit rock bottom. I started not feeling any type of emotions. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to get out of bed. I wasn't eating, which is not like me at all. I mean, I'm like very emotional. I love food. But at that point is when I started to talk to a therapist and realize how to keep myself grounded and how to internalize the situation as a whole.
What sparked that? How did that happen? You just said, I just want to get help. And where were you? What was the moment where you were like, geez, I need to heal?
It was definitely the first day of school. I went about my entire day and I was completely fine. I went to class, I was hanging out with my team, we had practice, everything was fine. And then on the car ride home from my school to my apartment, I just got in my car and just started sobbing the entire way home. And I had realized that it was like yet another milestone that I had to live without having my mom there. And it was just kind of like the first day of school. So I think that whole week was really eye-opening for me mentally because it was probably the first time where I just didn't feel anything. So I knew at that point that I really needed to get help so I could start emoting like I would normally do before any of this.
And what'd you do? Like, let's say someone's going through that, right? And they're 14 or they're 28. What did you do? Like, how did you get help? You're at college. What did you do? How did you get it?
Yeah, so I was actually fortunate enough to have a family friend who was a therapist. And I am still very stubborn. And so my one stipulation to talk to a therapist was that he or she had to have gone through some type of trauma. It didn't necessarily have to be to the same magnitude as mine, but I definitely felt that whoever was telling me that my feelings were normal had to have gone through something similar. Because had they not, they really would have no idea how I was feeling or what I was doing was the right way to go about it. But I definitely look back on, I mean, I still see a therapist, but I definitely look back on when I first started and now, and how much it has actually helped me internalize a lot of what's happened in the last year and a half.
Tell me, like, how has it helped? What are some of the things? What was the first thing that helped you? Do you remember, like, wow, like that helped? The first realization, the talking it out with somebody or doing some of the things they suggested helped?
So I think for me, what was the most eye-opening at first when I started was she would always talk to me about how past experiences and situations kind of like shape how you think and shape your perspective, and it all kind of comes back full circle. And I remember she was asking me a lot about my childhood and how my relationship was with my mother, and it kind of all came back full circle when we had one of our last sessions before I moved back home, how I don't have any anger or resentment towards the situation because I never saw that growing up. Like, any time I ever even saw my mom, like, it was very rare that she was upset or unhappy, and she would never come home and badmouth anyone, even if, like, she had the worst day ever. She kind of just embodied that type of personality.
What do you attribute that to? Because a lot of times anxiety comes if you are really angry with someone. You know, we don't let go of the anger for their sake. We let go of the anger for our sake, because it can affect us going forward. And what blew me away when we talked at the World Team Tennis event, have you been able to let go of anger? Did you experience a lot of anger, and how did you handle that?
I never held any type of resentment or any anger toward the man who did this or the whole situation as a whole. I have feelings sometimes of like how it's unfair that I lost my mom when I was 19, and now I'm having to grow up even quicker than I was already growing up. But every now and then I always think to myself how everyone has their own issues and their own path that they have been chosen to take, and this is just mine.
The wisdom and the love and the glimmer of light that you're tapping into is going to just rock people's world, and it's going to really have a major impact on people. Because if you can find love, they can find love. So thank you for bringing a lot of light into this room today.
Thank you.
And to this festival. Definitely my highlight.
Wow, that was really amazing. It's an honor to be celebrating World Mental Health Day. And again, a thank you to the Wellness Experience by Kroger for making this possible, as well as our special partner and one of the beneficiaries of today, One Mind. Their $500 million of research have really made it possible for a lot of the mental health breakthroughs and practices that we're lucky enough to have today. But there's so much more work to do. And we're really, really grateful for One Mind to be able to partner with Jewel and the Inspiring Children Foundation to be able to do that. And today I have one of our great alumni back, Cheryl Odell. She's in from Stanford. How you doing, Cheryl?
I'm doing great.
Let me bring in the sensei, otherwise known at Stanford as Dr. Stephen Murphy Shigematsu, an American-Japanese psychologist who has spent a career in human development, mindfulness, Asian wisdom, science, compassion, and responsibility. He's a speaker, he's a professor, he's an author. But most importantly, Professor, you truly are a sensei. So thank you for who you are and what you're doing, and welcome to our conversation.
Thank you. I feel like if we're really open and mindful, and that what we really need in our lives will come to us. And that's what this meeting feels like, this very chance meeting. And but I've learned to trust in them. This morning I was thinking about why me. I think a lot of us ask the question, why do you want to talk with me? And then of all the people in the world who have so much knowledge, and then I thought, well, why not me? And then I thought, well, maybe neither question needs an answer. And what I really just want to do is to be me. And then this song came to me, I gotta be me, I gotta be me. What else can I be but what I am? I've wanna live, not merely survive. And I won't give up this dream of life that keeps me alive. As I'm singing this, I'm very self-conscious about the line that we draw in society between these very false lines of normal and abnormal, mentally ill and mentally healthy, well and sick. And the reality is we're all on a spectrum of all of these things, and that if we can really think of it in that way, we won't divide ourselves to the point in which we have to take some people away and isolate them from society. But instead we could be more accepting of all this great diversity of human behavior, and all feel like we're in this together to help each other and to really see the ways in which we are so connected as human beings. I think we can really intentionally create those kinds of community experiences in which people come together with a sense of openness and authenticity and vulnerability. And if you start there, then amazing things can happen.
I agree with that 100%. I was just talking to Sydney yesterday, and I remember when she first came into our program and some of our other children, one of the most profound things I think we can do is let them know there's nothing wrong with them. They might have some challenges, but that doesn't mean they're innately flawed. In fact, most of these children are highly sensitive, highly aware. They're extraordinary. It's just society doesn't know how to identify extraordinary, because most people hide their light. And when their light is wide open, it just looks different. Just like you sang, it was beautiful. Not everyone's walking around doing that. If they did, we'd have a better world, right? And Jewel had a song that I listened to in my 20s when I first started doing mindfulness, which was intuition. Follow your heart, your intuition. It will lead you in the right direction. Now, you talk about mindfulness in that way. Like, it's not just mindfulness. It's about following your heart, what you call heartfulness. Can you describe how you found heartfulness?
Heartfulness comes from my Japanese heritage, and I purposely wore the kimono today to kind of use it as a prop to be able to talk about that. But it comes from really a very different cultural perspective on the mind and the heart and the soul and the spirit, and that I think in a Western sense we've really separated mind and body, mind and heart, and that in many East Asian languages, including Japanese, there's a very direct connection between the mind and the heart. And so the sense of I think I've been around a lot of universities, and that in these contexts that Cheryl and I are in right now, there's a great deal of emphasis on the brain and the mind, and what we can learn through that after my many years of experience is very limited. It's very important, but it's also limited. And what I'm bringing into this university context is something that exists in many other contexts outside of here, but I believe is necessary to complement the education that we offer, which is education of the heart. And it really leads us, I think, to a different place than if we just think of mindfulness as meditation, but if we see it instead as the basis for a whole deeper connection to ourselves, which will also lead to a deeper connection to others, and then to a deeper connection to something that we all feel the need to connect to, something beyond the human realm that we call God or nature or spirit, the great spirit. The other thing that we don't do in the university is we don't believe much in experience. If you experience something, then you know it's true. And so one thing I like to do is to say that we can read about something and say compassion is important, and we can hear somebody tell us compassion is important, but if we experience it, then we really know it's important. One thing I like to do, which is very hard in the Zoom context, but is to really we look into another person's eyes just for a moment and we say, I see you. And this is something that has a very deep cultural context, not only in East Asian culture and with the greeting, the namaste greeting that many people know, but also in South African Zulu culture, the words Sawubona and Ubuntu, which also have this sense of, I see you, I am here, and this is how we become human beings, by coming together.
Well, I can say, I see you, Professor, and I see your presence, which is beautiful.
I see you, and I am here.
And Sensei, I see you, and I am here. It really does create a sense of awareness to just slow down for a second. I call it the deathbed perspective. Every time I saw my parents, and my father in particular, for the last 25 years, every moment I wanted to look at it as if this was the last time. And it created, a pretty big intensity. I guess that would be heartfulness, right? My heart was filled with his presence, knowing that physical presence might not be there one day. And I did want to look back and be like, when I was there, I was there. Like I didn't miss him. And when he did pass away, I was deeply grateful that I was with him. And I wasn't with him every day. I was only with him a couple times a year, but when I was with him, I was. How did you learn to integrate heartfulness into day-to-day living? I mean, a lot of people are moving fast.
Integrating it into work was something that was difficult because my main work context is a university, which really doesn't value what I do as much as the value of put on science. And so it has been a struggle in that sense to bring my beliefs into a system that in which it's not prioritized. But I feel like the important thing is simply to see the human connection and to be able to speak the language that people are speaking. And so in this context of the university, it means speaking an academic language and to show that there are many forms of knowledge. And I think the universities are expanding in that sense of recognizing women's knowledge, indigenous knowledge. And that's true for mindfulness, that there's an evidence-based research basis for saying that if we do introduce this into schools, then it will help. It helps learning. And it helps people to stay in school. Many students tell me that that's how they are able to stay at the university, because of this attention to the things that mattered most to them. And so I think if we can speak the language of the people with whom we're working, then we can communicate and be understood that the importance of what we're doing in many different contexts. But yeah, thank you for asking.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye. See you soon.
Wow, those were some amazing, thought-provoking, and incredible conversations. And that brings us to a wrap on today's summit. And it is time to begin the concert portion of this evening, featuring my friend Jewel, hey girl, kill it tonight, Quinn 92, Hunter Hayes, and more. And remember, today is not only about giving mental health tools to the world, but also to support two foundations who are doing the work every day. One Mind and Jewel's Inspiring Children Foundation. So, to learn more or to donate, click the donate button below or go to thewellnessexperience.com. And if I could just give one tidbit of advice for anyone out there who has a brain like mine that spirals out of control and gets very obsessed with one thing over and over again, my big trick when my mind goes to that place is to help someone else. Kicks me out of that self-shame obsession spiral. And also, forgive yourself. Be kinder to yourself for being a human being, because that's exactly what we are, human beings. Fabulous ones, at that. Now I'm passing it on to Summer McKean, who's hosting today's concert. Bye, everybody.
everybody. I'm Summer McKean, and welcome to the World Mental Health Day concert. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Tonight, we're gonna get to hear some amazing artists like Lydia Knight, Pat Monahan from Train, Hunter Hayes, and Lindsay L. You'll meet a fabulous Spanish artist named Laura, and you're gonna hear the inspirational story of an incredible up-and-coming artist, Charlie Green, who also has a very exciting announcement. So get ready for some love. Plus, we're gonna share some actionable tips and resources you can use to build your emotional and mental state and to look out for someone who you care about who also might be struggling. Tonight, the focus is on youth mental health. The COVID-19 pandemic doubled international rates of child and adolescent psychological disorders, which include anxiety and depression. Additionally, the rate of suicide among those aged 10 to 24 increased 60% in the last decade. So tonight, we're raising awareness and funds for two incredible nonprofits that have been taking these issues on for 2 decades. One Mind and Jewel's Inspiring Children Foundation. They're announcing a partnership tonight that will lead the way in ensuring every kid that needs mental health care has access to mental health care that really works. And there's a role for you to play too. Click the link in the description or go to wellness-experience.com. We'll talk more about this all night. But to kick things off, I want to turn the time over now to somebody very special. She's the founder of World Mental Health Day's Summit and Concert, a New York Times best-selling author, Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter, and our own mental health expert, Jewel. For over 20 years, Jewel has been helping herself and others strengthen their mental health, especially through her Inspiring Children Foundation. Take it away, Jewel.
Hi, it's Jewel. Youth mental health has always been important to me. Through my Inspiring Children Foundation, I've been working with children for over 20 years. And I am honored to announce today that my foundation and I are partnering with One Mind. One Mind is the world's preeminent facilitator of funding for mental health research. We will work together to improve mental health for kids, young adults, the LGBTQ community, and communities of color. Throughout the night, you will see ways that you can help the work that my Inspiring Children Foundation, One Mind, and I are doing together. Please help if you can. Especially honored to be working with One Mind's president, Brandon Staglin, because we both have lived experiences in common. Brandon, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
I'm a huge fan of Jewel's work in both music and mental health advocacy. Her honest, poignant storytelling has helped to heal and inspire me over many, many years. For both Jewel and me, our lived experience is the basis for our work in mental health. This is why I'm proud to say that One Mind is partnered with Jewel and Inspiring Children Foundation. One Mind was founded 27 years ago by my family, inspired by our shared struggle with my schizophrenia, depression, and suicidal thoughts when I was 18. That experience was the scariest and darkest time of my life. My family went through it with me. Over those 27 years, we've learned that life-threatening mental health conditions are incredibly common for young people. In fact, I estimate that up to 300,000 young people in the United States alone develop a serious mental illness for the first time every single year. Science-based medical care at the proper time can actually help people live well again. And this is what I experienced. And since our founding, One Mind has championed innovations for early intervention that have helped tens of thousands of young people to live full and fulfilling lives again. These programs emphasize cultural competency and continuous improvement in the care system and outcomes through science. Now, these care programs interact with young people and their families in over a dozen languages. Due to stigma, inertia in the mental health care system, and slow growth in funding nationwide, I estimate that only about 10% of young people, though, can actually access this gold standard of care. And Black and Hispanic communities have even lower care access. Now we've set ambitious goals to raise early care access and mental health recovery. But we can't do it alone. This is why I'm proud to say that One Mind has partnered with Jewel and the ICF to drive toward these ambitious goals. We'd be more than proud to partner with you. Please donate today. Your contribution will help at-risk youth flip their scripts, experience healing, and live to their fullest potential. Thank you.
Brandon, I could not ask for a better partner than One Mind. I can't wait to share all that we have planned in the upcoming months.
Inspiring Children and One Mind are doing amazing work in the battle against youth mental illness. You can learn more about them by clicking the link below or going to our webpage, wellness-experience.com. Tonight, we are raising money to help continue the work they're embarking on together. So check out the link, go to the website, help however you can. Okay, this is a concert. We do need music. Thankfully, we have Quinn92 to give us some. So, Quinn, you're up.
What's up, guys? I'm Quinn92. Two songs that I would like to introduce to you are Another Day in Paradise and Straight Jacket. The first one, Another Day in Paradise, I wrote this song a few years ago with my best friend, Hey. One of my favorite lines from the song is, it's all about the scenery along the route, which I think is really important to remind ourselves of, because I think we always want to strive for the end goal in our lives and we fail to realize what kind of is in front of us along that journey. So I like to remind fans that it's important to take everything in day by day, even if you haven't reached your end goal yet. Second song, Straight Jacket. I want to mention this song because I got dumped when I wrote this song. I got cheated on, it sucked, but I realized years later that I needed that thing to happen to me in order for other things to open up in my life. So I bring up that song because I think perspective is so important in our lives, and just knowing that something might happen to you that you don't love, but you may realize later in life that it was necessary in order for other doors to open. So two very special songs that I hold dearly to me. Hope you guys enjoy my performance. Love you all.
Hands up! Hey, let's go! Her body's cold like September. She burns through the night like an ember. And all those things we try forgetting, I remember. But we said we all fine, we all fine. Sunny daydreams and we up and down. Pocket lemonade, I serve it up, it goes down. 75 degrees in the door sound. All you need to live fine, to live fine. Take a little more if you need it. Voices of the night won't mislead it. Time pulls me in and it takes a load. Keys to the night, we let go. And I'm running cause I figured out it's all about the scenery along the route. No fears and no problems. These moments are so kind, they're so kind. Yeah, yeah. See, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey! I ride my time by the ocean to feel the wave of your motion. And I want something that's feeling alright. Loose cannon, but still it won't fight. No need to leave, spend our whole life. Oh yeah, yeah, I'll be going to November, going through the letters that I sent her, and thinking about the moment that I met her. Well, I'll be back in due time, in due time. Touchdown, throw up my own two shoes. Still the same city I've been used to, and all the reckless things that we do keep us young. They're good signs, they're good signs. Take a little more if you need it. Voices of the night won't mislead it. The time pulls me in, but it takes a lot. Here's to the nights we let go. And I'm running that you figure out. It's all about the scenery along the route. No fears and no problems. These moments are so kind, they're so kind. Oh yeah, yeah. See, yeah, yeah, yeah. All the good comes in waves. That night I'm awake to feel the weight of your motion. And I want something that's feeling alright. Loose cannon, but still it won't fight. No need to leave, spend our whole lives. Another paradise. In that night I'm awake, and I lose cannon, but still it won't fight. No need to leave, spend our whole lives. Another Cincinnati, I love you guys so much. Thank you. she's a straight jacket will hold her, yeah. Wild eyes, they will on me in her trap. Go mad just to hold her. That's when I noticed that something was strange out of my range. Something went off of my brain. She was insane. Here she goes again now. I woke up and I told her, I said, you won't know me when the feeling's all gone. And I tell everyone, and the look on your face will slowly come undone. Cause it was all the front. And quietly I say it to your face that you will need to find another place to stay. And no, you won't know me when the feeling's all gone. And I tell everyone, yeah, yeah. One more time, Ohio, I need you to make some noise. She said, loose cannon with the temper so absurd, hiding from the police, yeah. Took pills with a name I never heard. Day before sleep, she followed me. That's when I noticed that something was strange out of my range. No way back, something went off of my brain. She was insane, she goes again now. I woke up and I told her, I said, you won't know me when the feeling's all gone. And I tell everyone, and the look on your face will slowly come undone. Yeah, cause it was all in front. And quietly I say it to your face that you will need to find another place to stay. You won't know me when the feeling's all gone. And I tell everyone, yeah. And I tell everyone. And I tell everyone. And I tell everyone. And I tell everyone. That's when I noticed that something was strange out of my range. Something went off of my brain. She was insane. Psycho from a Midwest suburb. You won't know me when the feeling's all gone. And I tell everyone, then the look on your face will slowly come undone. Yeah, all in front, quietly. That you will need. Baby, I say you won't know me. And I tell everyone, yeah, yeah. And I tell everyone, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Lindsay L. has spent the pandemic writing and putting out an album called Heart Theory, which is about the 7 stages of grief. Here she is to give us some of her thoughts and some of her music.
Hey everyone, it's Lindsay L. here. I'm so glad Jewel asked me to be a part of this evening. We need to really look out for everyone's mental health right now, especially the mental health for our kids and teens. Between virtual school and not being able to see friends and play sports or even know what the next month holds, let alone year holds, it's just really important for us to wrap our arms around them. I'm so glad we're fighting for universal access to mental health care tonight, and that we're fighting for more research for funding. I just think it's so, so important. So I hope you guys are staying safe out there and connecting with each other, and I hope you enjoy this song. Have a great evening. therapy, just looking for clarity and reasons for me to get out of my bed. You made a mess of me, I lost my identity. But when you went and broke up with me, I thought I would never feel normal again. You losing you is hell, but I'm thankful for it now, because I found myself on the other side of lonely, the other side of sad. Turns out life without you ain't really all that bad. I thought I'd never get here, I thought I'd never make it through, but damn it feels good, damn it feels good on the other side of you. Yeah, on the other side of you. I finally feel like that girl again that I was before we met, but a little bit better than that. I'm stronger, I'm braver, I know what I'm worth. I ain't angry anymore, I don't hate you anymore, but I don't love you anymore. On the other side of lonely, the other side of sad. Turns out life without you ain't really all that bad. Thought I'd never get here, thought I'd never make it through, but damn it feels good, damn it feels good on the other side of you, on the other side of you. You're losing you as hell, but I'm thankful for it now, because I found myself on the other side of lonely, the other side of sad. Turns out life without you ain't really all that bad. I thought I'd never get here, I thought I'd never make it through, but damn it feels good, damn it feels good on the other side of you. Yeah, on the other side of you. On the other side of you. On the other side of you.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. She is incredible and so inspiring. Speaking of inspiration, I want to introduce to you the story of Charlie Green. He is a YouTube sensation who goes by the handle CG5. He has almost 3 million subscribers on YouTube, and his music has been streamed, get this, over 900 million times. He realized early on that he is neurodivergent, and he has suffered from anxiety for most of his life as a result. He uses music as a form of therapy, which I think is really beautiful. Here's his story.
Oh, hey! I'm Charlie, otherwise known as CG5. You know what? I got something special to show you. There has been a murder. Let's get to work. When I was a kid, I showed a lot of the common signs of autism. I did things repetitively, wandered off, and I repeated things that people said instead of using my own language. My mom says she was kind of in denial at first, but she got me the help that I needed. As a child and teen, I was kind of like oblivious to my differences. I really tried and failed miserably at this social game, and that caused my anxiety. My music and my family were my friends. Are we starting? Wait, are we like we're starting? I've been holding out for this shoot, but I've been taking notes about like me and like the things that I go through when I'm at my worst, when I'm at my best. This is the kind of song that I don't usually write, but I've been working on this for a couple of weeks now, and now I'm finally actually getting into the music portion. I've been trying to understand, struggling hard just to connect. Music is the thing that has defined me for as long as I can remember. Like, I was stomping complicated rhythms as early as 2, and writing music at 5. As I said, when I didn't have friends, I had my music, and that has been the common language with the friends that I have now that are closest to me. It's really, really helped me to connect with the rest of the world in ways that I can understand, and in ways that you can understand me. When something sounds like really good to me, sometimes I freak out. So like maybe I can freak out at one point. That would be nice. I need to freak out. 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 In a good way, need to freak out, so I know what to say. I'm way too overwhelmed, but there's hardly no reason why. I'm way too overwhelmed, but there's hardly no reason why. Let me freak out, freak out. What? Ah! Sorry. I'm sorry. Let me freak out, right? Let me freak out in a good way. Need to freak out, so I know what to say. I'm way too overwhelmed. If I could give any advice to all of you out there today, it would be to find ways that you can connect with the world. And also, when you go through hard times, remember that you're never alone. And it's okay if you have to freak out sometimes.
Hi everyone, my name is Selena Williams and I'm an alumni of Jewel's Inspiring Children Foundation and a freshman at Brown University. I'm really excited to be here with you all talking about mental health. As you know, it's been a very difficult year with the COVID pandemic. We've seen a 93% increase in people looking for help with anxiety and a 60% increase in depression. I was one of those people and I'm really grateful to the foundation's help and support to help me find mental health and wellness through their 10 pillars of healing and growth. I'm now at Brown, able to help others and share that mental health skill set and community and wisdom through the foundation's support. It's now my honor to introduce one of my many mentors in the program, Jewel. Jewel held this anxiety workshop at her festival called the Wellness Experience by Kroger this past August in Cincinnati, and in it she shares some really innovative and extraordinary tips to combat anxiety, heal, and thrive. Enjoy.
And I think I always had a mentality that people owed me. I wasn't given what I was needed, and somebody owed me, and that's why I stole. Because it made me feel like I was taking care of myself. It was the most loving thing I knew how to do at the time, and that's just how it was. But I also kind of felt like somebody owed me. I didn't know who. The man, I don't know. The system. Just something other than me owed me. And that's a bad move. There's no power there. There's nothing you can do, because then you can just always think everybody owes you, and I didn't know how to. So when I looked in the mirror that day, I went, nobody owes me happiness. I owe myself happiness. Nobody's coming for me. I'm coming for me. And I stopped that day, not stealing. That took a while. But I stopped expecting other people to do it in a much deeper way. I became accountable in a much, much deeper way. All right, what if my thoughts can turn my life around? What if my happiness is dependent on my thoughts? Well, it seems like the first thing you should do is think about what your thoughts are. The problem with really extreme anxiety is you're disassociating all the time. I could not figure out what a thought was. I could not witness a thought in real time. I wasn't even witnessing myself steal in real time. I was waking up after. It was weird. Not fully dissociative, like I fully woke up, but it was like, oh shit, I did it again. I didn't have that moment until after. So how do you start witnessing your thoughts when you don't know what your thoughts are? I wrote, I had a journal, and so I was like, I'll try and write down any thoughts I notice. So writing became a really big helpful tool for me, which I highly recommend to anybody, not as a career path. It ended up becoming a career path, which is so weird, but is not why I started. It was to try and realize, I wrote down, all right, I have to notice my thoughts. How do I notice my thoughts? Like, this was literally my process. I realized my hands are the servants of my thoughts, right? It's your your action, our thoughts slowed down into something, well, an action. So I was like, that's what I'll do. I'll follow my hands around. And I gave myself 2 weeks, and I was going to write down everything my hands did, which sounds like an idiotic life plan, but it's what I had. So that's all I did. I went around and I wrote down everything my hands did. I didn't abstain from behavior because I couldn't yet, you guys. No amount of willpower will make you suddenly mentally well, you know. So I wrote everything down for 2 weeks. Looked at it at the end of 2 weeks. I wrote down every time I stole, every time I shook a hand, when I wouldn't shake a hand, when people would try and hug me and I'd be like, back up. How many times I washed my hands, what I ate, when I ate. I didn't know what I was looking for. I sit down and look at it all and I'm like, I quit believing myself. It's kind of my takeaway from all that. I quit thinking I could hold a job. I quit thinking I could trust people. Like, I quit believing. That was a big problem. But the way more interesting thing is my anxiety. I didn't have a panic attack in that 2 weeks, and I didn't even notice that I didn't. My anxiety, like, virtually disappeared. That was like, I don't know, you hear about drug tests where they're like, this is for glaucoma, but now we're going to sell it to make your eyelashes grow. It's like a weird side effect where they're like, awesome, that's what we meant to do. That's what it was like for me. It was like, holy smokes, like I quit having anxiety as a side effect of something that happened here. What happened here? I stumbled onto being present. You know, that word wasn't a keyword. There was not a word like mindfulness. You know, this is like 92 maybe. I had stumbled on showing up. And when you show up, you can do something.
Jewel's anxiety workshop was amazing. I feel like everyone is suffering right now, so every little bit of help we can get to learn to cope is awesome. You can watch the full workshop on the wellness-experience.com. While you're there, you can also learn more about One Mind and Jewel's Inspiring Children Foundation. Please be sure to donate whatever you can.
We are going to get a world premiere of GC5's new song a little bit later in the broadcast, and he's contributing the proceeds from the song to the Inspiring Children Foundation and One Mind. How amazing is that? You can also donate by clicking the button below or going to the wellness-experience.com. His song and a full-length behind-the-scenes video will be up on his YouTube channel a little bit later this evening, so please check it out and tell your friends to check it out and tell your friends' friends to check it out too. Music can be such a positive influence on your mental health. It can literally heal you. I think it's really beautiful how it can also bring people together like we're doing right now. That's a huge reason why I started Keen On. Keen On is my music media company that I started at the beginning of the pandemic in 2020. It's basically just a way that I can make something out of my passion for music. I don't make music myself, but I know there are so many incredible, talented artists out there that deserve to have a platform and get their name out there. So that's basically what Keen On is. We've been working with all kinds of smaller artists for the past year now, and it's been really cool because I love the artists that I work with, so it's kind of like a fangirl moment for me, and it's really cool seeing them be able to grow a little bit because we're getting their name out there. I'm so happy to say that one of the artists we've featured on Keen On is here to perform some of her music. Everybody give it up for Hoax.
What's up guys, we are Hoax and we're so grateful to be a part of this World Mental Health Day live stream. We're going to be performing one of our songs called You Get So Alone Sometimes. I hope you guys enjoy it. 1, 2, 3. You get so alone sometimes it starts to make sense. On this side of paradise we're never content with the grass always greener on the other side of the screen. And misery set her sights on the likes of you and me. When arrows of love get pulled from our chest, the white mask of tragedy touch ribbons round the neck, and then shadows are cast over beds that we've made, and you start to forget why you came to this place. Then you go break their hearts, they don't know who you are as you lie in the dark. Who that this side of paradise won't happen again. And for reasons unknown, we were brought to this place until legs grow too old to just fight the good race. Then you go break their hearts. They don't know who you are. You lie in the dark. You know what you want. You go break their hearts. They don't know who you are. You lie in the dark. Do you know what you want? 'Cause I don't know why you go change your mind. Tell yourself why. Tell yourself lies. Or to yourself. I don't know why you go change your mind. Tell yourself lies. Tell yourself why to yourself.
Hello, my name is Laura. I'm from Romania and I'm a singer. I sing since I was 3 and pretty much before I learned how to speak, I started to sing, and I think this was the blessing of my life. When I was 4, I lost my father, so my mom had to raise me and my brother. We had to grow up with our grandparents because my mom, she wanted to keep on studying, so she becomes a pharmacist. We really didn't have a very easy life, but even though I was an introvert, music was always there. Being a girl without a father and being a singer, it was really difficult because I had to go through a lot of bullying in the school and pretty much everywhere, so I had a really hard time to communicate. I felt abandoned and misunderstood. So my biggest struggles were anxiety, getting really nervous when I wasn't on the same page with someone, feeling that I'm doing something wrong and I needed everyone's approval all the time. This kind of insecurity drained me. It's very important to fix all the traumas, talk about them. Don't feel ashamed. We all have traumas. Some of us are lucky enough to have, I don't know, good parents, good friends, therapists, but some of us are not that lucky, so it's very important that we raise funds to help those kids and young adults.
When the dirt creeps out, it's just like a thick gray cloud hovering over you now. There is no room for doubt. When you feel your chest tighten from all the stress, a cycle of endless mess, you know there's no room left for doubt. I'm spinning round on standing still, traffic in my head, I gotta take the becomes lukewarm. You're craving to be reborn. There is no room for doubt. When you feel your chest tighten from all the stress, a cycle of endless mess, you know there's no room left for doubt. I'm spinning round on standing still, traffic in my head, I gotta take the wheel. I know, I'm spinning while I'm standing still, traffic in my head, I gotta take the wheel. I know, I'm spinning round on standing still, traffic in my head, I gotta take the wheel. I know, I'm spinning while I'm standing still, traffic in my head, I gotta take the wheel. I know,
Hey everyone, Corey Mascara here with mindfulness.com. Here's a simple cognitive hack you can do to drop back into the present moment. I call it shifting your what ifs to what is. Now, so much of our stress and anxiety gets caused by the what if mind. What if this happens? What if that goes wrong? What if they don't like me? What if, what if, what if? Now, sometimes the what if mind can be important. It can help us prepare. But a lot of times it's just causing unnecessary stress and mental chatter that really creates a lot of angst in our system. So next time you find yourself caught up in the what if mind, trade that for what is. Shift what if to what is. In this moment, I'm in a very pleasant setting. I would tune into, all right, I'm sitting, I feel my feet on the ground, I feel my body breathing, I hear sounds around me, there's what I can see right now. Your what is will be different moment to moment, but often what we see is that what is here is a little less of a catastrophe than the mind is making it out to be. So when you find yourself caught up in what if, just try dropping into what is. It's a very simple way to step out of the noise of your mind and into the direct experience of the present moment. Try it out.
Hola amigos, soy Alejandro Sanz y quería decirles que es para mí un honor estar en este evento tan importante. Quiero dedicarle este video a todos los niños. Soy el hijo de María y de Jesús, la de Alcalá y el de Algeciras. Yo el más pequeño de dos, mi hermano mayor de agosto, de diciembre 18 yo. Siempre fui introvertido, tenía miedo, estaba ido. Me gustaba la poesía, el flamenco y mi bujío. No tuve muchos amigos, no era por mirarme el ombligo, era que a mí me atraía más que lo de fuera, lo que tenía dentro metido. Jugaba a veces en el barrio por no parecer extraño, pero no encajaba bien con los malos que mandaban en el extrarradio. Siempre me vi rarito, me daba pena salir en clase. En la pizarra cualquiera me hacía chiquito al burlarse. Quería guitarra y son, pero en el pupitre al sol con mi compañero jugaba a ser el más vacilón. Yo relleno y el flaquito. En la escuela me hice el malo creyendo que así no me darían más palos, pero me lo llevé en la calle y en el corazón y en los rellanos. Quería guitarra y son, pero en el pupitre al sol, con mi compañero jugaba a ser el más vacilón. Mi padre tocaba en un grupo, mi madre luchaba en la casa. Cuántas veces la vi llorando porque perdía la batalla. Y cuando estallaba su impotencia se me clavaba en el alma y en las costillas con aquellos gritos de plata. No me malentienda, mi madre fue salvavidas y mi padre, aunque faltaba, también peleaba la vida. No me gustaba el fútbol, me pedía ser el portero en mi escenario imaginario, siempre ganaba 6-0. Pasábamos malos tiempos, pero teníamos huevos para ganarle al miedo un pedacito de cielo. La vida se fijó en mí, empecé a soñar en grande. Total, para seguir en lo mismo, ya tenía el labio en sangre. No creía en los milagros ni en que pudiera lograrlo. Además, ya había gente que te echaba el agua a jarro. Pero insistí de una forma que aún hoy me deja helado. Yo no quería nada, pero lo buscaba a nado. Sabía que la música era lo que me sacaría del lodo, como si fuera el anillo que buscaba ese tipo que le llaman Frodo. Y de repente me vi subiéndome a un escenario, gente que no conocía, mis cancioncillas cantando. Y decidí dar las gracias, hacer siempre lo que esté en mi mano para agradecer a la vida semejante regalo. Llevo ya 30 años dedicado a este sueño que empezó como empeño, ilusión, opción y anhelo. Y ese soy yo, resumiendo, desde que tengo razón. No intento engañar a nadie, sino escribir mi canción. En medio de tanta mentira, no sabes cómo agradezco un soplo de verdad que irá en torno a ti. Amanezco ahora que es toda apariencia, valoro en su justa medida lo auténtico de tu presencia en el albor de mi vida.
Hola amigos, soy Alejandro Sanz y quería decirles que es un honor para mí estar en este evento y quería agradecerles especialmente a Inspiring Children Foundation y a One Mind por ser tan inspiradores y por llenarnos de paz. Les mando un abrazo enorme y muchísimas gracias. Cuídense mucho.
Well, hi, it's me again, Summer McKean, and you're watching the World Mental Health Day concert benefiting Jewel's Inspiring Children Foundation and One Mind. Please don't forget to click the link below to learn more about these amazing organizations. We're focusing on youth mental health, and our goal is to reach universal access to more effective treatment for mental illness for every kid and young adult. Give what you can and please get involved. There's a donate button right down there, or you can go to thewellness-experience.com. So how are we doing? Do we want more music? Good, because we've got Cassidy Pope and she's gonna give us some amazing music right now.
Hey, I'm Cassidy Pope. This is my dog Cuppy trying to steal the show. Thank you, Jewel, for having me be a part of your World Mental Health Day concert. It means so much. I so wish I could have been there for the Kroger Wellness Experience, but it looked and sounded amazing. Mental health has been so important to me, especially since 2017 when I started going to therapy. A lot of things from my childhood started to come to a head. I realized there were a lot of things holding me back, abandonment issues, self-worth issues, and it really was an amazing experience to work through all of that. I still am. I think we're all a work in progress. The more we come to terms with that, the better we are for it. So writing this record that's called Thrive was also kind of therapeutic. I wrote it the whole time during quarantine last year, and it really helped me through some tough times. So I'm going to play you a song that really helped me through. This is a song that really confronts the past in a way that it says that it's not okay what happened, but you're kind of just accepting that thing shaped you and made you who you are today. It doesn't define you, but it contributed to shaping you. So it's a bittersweet song, but if you relate, this one's for you. It's called No Now. If you really cared about my future, you would have left a long time ago.
Only a small percentage of those needing mental health care receive it, and this is even more true in BIPOC communities. To tell us more about mental health in the BIPOC communities, here's Gloria Walker with NAMI Cincinnati and my friend Ryan Wolfington with Jewel's Inspiring Children Foundation.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Ryan Wolfington. Gloria is the executive director of a NAMI affiliate in Cincinnati. They are a partner of our wellness festival there with Kroger. I know when we spoke last year, you had explained that your experience was that people of color were not being given the same type of mental health resources as other communities. Can you talk a little bit about what that education looks like and what you've done to destigmatize it in the Black community?
Okay, so one of the first things that we do is to offer support to those people who are going through these various challenges with their mental health. We offer support to them, we offer support to their families, but we also do the NAMI evidence-based practice, the family-to-family training. It's an 8-week class. We're going to be doing it online now. Helping family members and others to understand about mental illness.
Here's another stat. Approximately 30% of African American adults with mental illness receive treatment each year. That means 70% don't receive treatment. And what's interesting to me on that is, okay, 30% get treatment, and then the average is 43%. That means 70% of people aren't getting treatment.
African Americans end up getting their first treatment or their introduction to a mental health system in an emergency, at the emergency room, in the hospital, not along the lines of when they're growing up and taking, appointments with the doctor and that kind of thing. And from that emergency room, then they enter the treatment system. And then from that, they can get treatment. It's a difficult system, but if somebody's out there advocating for them, they can make sure they get treatment and the services that are needed.
What are some of the most important things you think we need to do as a society to make mental health more accessible and to heal this mental health epidemic, not only in communities of color, but in the country as a whole? What would be your 1, 2, 3 most important things you think we should do?
My first thing to do would be to educate. I think educating everybody. We educate everybody in the schools and everywhere about diabetes. We educate people about high blood pressure. We are educating people to have them get out and work out. We're educating them about obesity. We're educating people about health. Let's educate everybody about the brain and how it is part of the body. Your health does not stop at your neck. Taking care of your health does not stop at your neck. I would say the next thing would be access to information. I just believe that when people know what's at stake, they will make good decisions if they know what can happen. And then the third thing, I would think treatment and services available to everybody. Everybody can't just call a psychiatrist because we don't have enough of them. And in the Black community, people want to go to people who look like them, understand their culture, understand what they're going through. People want that, but we don't have a system in place that can put that treatment and services, not just for Black people, but for everybody in the community.
I'm a huge believer in meditation and mindfulness, not just sitting quietly, but then being mindful throughout the day and catching ourselves when we get caught up in these future thoughts or past thoughts or negative thoughts or worry thoughts. And you really are a special human being. You're an OG. Mental health, back when no one was talking about it, you were in it, and so were we. And And we're glad that now it's getting the attention that it deserves. And we're with you all the way. And we hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you guys for everything that you're doing.
Hi, Jewel and everyone. I just wanted to say, thanks so much for having me for World Mental Health Day. I've seen firsthand the incredible work that you do through the foundation, Jewel, and seeing these children absolutely thrive and blossom over the years. And there's nothing more satisfying to me than watching a human being realize their potential. I hope you enjoy this song called Don't Be So Hard on Yourself. Is what it says in the title. I think we all have a tendency to give ourselves a hard time, especially those who have suffered traumas and other things in their life. So this is a song to be more gentle with yourself, and I hope you all enjoy.
You're scared of falling, but you can't always win. 'Cause we're just broken pieces. Together we fix. So burn all you have, 'cause I know what you need. Leave the past in the past. Come take a walk with me. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's not your fault. You've been through hell. You're covered in kindness from angels who fell. So don't be so hard. So hard on yourself. Hard on yourself. Give me all your troubles. I'll help make amends. Tell me your secrets. Not understand. 'Cause baby, I've been drowning. Seen the waters rushing. Felt the pull of the ocean. Will you sink or will you swim? Don't be so hard on yourself. It's not your fault. You've been through hell. You're covered in kindness from angels who fell. So don't be so hard. So hard on yourself. So hard on yourself. So hard on yourself. You've been through hell. Trust me, I can tell. You're too hard on yourself.
We're alright as long as you're right by my side. We'll take flight. Just put your hand in mine. Don't be so hard on yourself.
It's not your fault. You've been through hell. You're covered in kindness from angels that fell. So don't be so hard. So hard on yourself. So hard on yourself. So hard on yourself. You've been through hell. Trust me, I can tell. You're too hard on yourself.
As a singer-songwriter, I have to say, talking to other singer-songwriters is inspiring.
it's also an incredible way to understand my own journey, as well as understand the world around me and everything that's happening. Recently, I was able to talk with Lydia Knight, as well as Jewel, about the connections between music and mental wellness. Lydia was also kind enough to share a very personal song, and I want you to check all of it out right now.
I'm aware of every little thing you do. If you're looking at me, don't wanna look at you. 'Cause I'm scared of you running away. I won't chase you, but you could just stay. I got so good at lonely, but how things could change when you want to. You might not know it yet. This could be something that flips that switch in both our heads. I see it clear, can you see it yet? I love us, I love us. I hold you down, you light me up. That's that stuff. I love us, I love us, all of us. Every fight and every touch, I want it all. Yeah, I love us. I'm aware of every little thing you like. Too much coffee in the Wall Street lights. I hope one day I'll be on your list. Maybe things will make sense if we kiss. I got so good at lonely, but how things can change. You wanna make me say, I love us, I love us. I hold you down, you light me up. And that's that stuff. I love us, I love us, all of us. Every fight and every touch, I want it all. Yeah, I love us. You might not know it yet. This could be something that flips that switch in both our heads. I see it clear. I love us, I love us. I hold you down, you light me up. That's that stuff. I love us, all of us. Every fight and every touch, I want it all. Yeah, I love us.
I just realized I never figured out how I was going to end that.
We all have a number story, and I had the pleasure of mentoring this young woman, Cheryl, who is in our youth foundation, Inspiring Children, where we help people heal from trauma. This is her story and a beautiful poem she wrote.
Dear Trauma, I remember you, but I am not you. I remember crying by the window, wondering why you wouldn't come home. The beer cans at my feet in the passenger seat. Doors slamming, things crashing, voices running rampant. The pain in your eyes and cries fed into all my lies. I remember guilt, fear, sadness, and resentment. How those feelings used to dictate my every action. How those feelings consumed me until I no longer could see. Worthless, pointless, purposeless, my life seemed. And my escapes were still not ridding me of my pain. Freedom just felt so far away. I thought suicide was the only way. But little did I know that after that almost fatal day, my life would change in an extraordinary way. That day in the hospital, I can't quite explain. Something was sparked inside my soul. I knew I had it in me to grow. Realized these thoughts in my head all weren't true, that I had the power to choose, to let go, love, and push through. I stopped running away, and in stillness I stayed. Breathing in and out, I finally could see my thoughts were not me. All I had to do was simply breathe. With each next breath, I was often put to the test. All my pain would rise inside of me. and it would get difficult to breathe. In the beginning, I cried and cried and cried, but I carried on and tried and tried and tried. Coming back to my breath during times of distress, when everything in me wanted to hate, I refused to take the bait. In those moments, I'd say I healed the most, because I let love be my host. And now 6 years later, here I am today, free of all that old trauma and pain. Now it lives as an old memory. I actually think of it quite fondly. It gave me the chance to find the deepest kind of love so that I could rise above and figure out who I am by not living under my trauma's hand.
Learn more about yours at numberstory.org. And to learn some exercises that Cheryl used to overcome her trauma and anxiety, you can go to jewelneverbroken.com.
Hey everyone, Corey Mascara here with mindfulness.com. I want to share a simple mindfulness practice you can use to reground in moments when you're feeling stressed. It's called Take 5, and we can do it together. So start by taking out your left hand and then holding it in front of you like a pizza pie. Now take your right pointer finger and place it in the palm of your hand right around the wrist. I'll hold it up like this. What we're going to do is slide the pointer finger up the thumb while taking an inhale through the nose, and then slide back down taking an exhale through the mouth. So sliding up, breathing in. Exhale back down. Up the pointer finger, inhale. Back down, exhale. Up the middle finger, inhale. Back down. Ring. Back down. And pinky. Back down. Great. So this is Take 5. Doesn't take more than about 30 seconds. You can do it before bed when you're trying to de-stress, or anytime throughout the day when you're feeling overwhelmed. Try it out and have fun.
Hey guys, quick update. I am still in Little Rock and I am still stuck in a hotel room. You know who's probably not stuck in a hotel room? Pat Monahan from Train. Here he is.
Hey everybody, I'm Pat Monahan from the band Train, and I'm very excited that we are a part of my friend Jewel's World Mental Health Day concert. Such an important time to be invested in the mental health of all of our children and our friends. Just make sure that you stay connected, keep talking to people. I can't stop talking, which is probably a good thing during this weird COVID time. But we're all in this together, and hope you guys are enjoying the music so far. This is our song, Calling All Angels.
I need a sign to let me know you're here. All of these lines are being crossed over the atmosphere. I need to know that things are gonna look up, 'cause I feel us drowning in a sea spilled from a cup. And there is no place safe and no safe place to put my head when you can feel the world shake from the words that I said. I'm calling all the
Now we have a special treat. Two of the world's top mental health and trauma lived experience experts, Dr. Gabor Mate, really hope I'm saying that right, and Jewel are going to talk trauma. Gabor's recent film, The Wisdom of Trauma, has reached and inspired millions of people, and Jewel talked to him about it.
Of course, he wrote this very beautiful song, My Father's Daughter, which, I mean, in the video, you'll even show yourself yodeling along with your dad when you're, what, 4 or 5 years old. And it's hard to see that song except other than as a tribute to your dad, despite all the pain that he inflicted on you. So tell me how you made peace with all that.
Trauma, to me, when I really sat down and sat in my body with it, it's what brought me to talking about dilation and contraction earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think trauma is an experience that's so overwhelming we can't understand it. And it's a massive dose of energy or information or experience that's so big we can't process it. And we typically will contract around it and it'll stay in our system. And it calcifies, sort of. It gets stiff, it gets immobile. And
Yes.
then it begins to have all these interactions with our body chemistry, right?
Yes.
All the neurochemicals that get released, the cortisols that get released, and it stays in our system and it keeps irritating our system. And I realized it wasn't as much for me to forgive or not forgive. I mean, what a power trip to say, I am in the position of forgiving or not forgiving. It's kind of a really funny power trip.
It is.
And I don't think it has anything to do with anything. What I had to do was dilate, 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 dilate to get this energy to move in and through my system and to keep it moving.
Yeah.
And to soften and open and soften and open and soften and open until I could understand and let this experience move through me.
Mm.
And not hang on to it. And any feeling that causes you to contract around it will interfere with you opening big enough to let that energy, that experience move through you. I was coming at my healing as if I was broken and I had to fix myself. And that's a really depressing thought. Because most of us go to therapy and go to therapists and go to doctors thinking something is wrong with us.
Right.
That we're inherently bad. We're defective. We're a misfit. Shame, when we have a failing sense of worth, where we tend to go to that at a young age is something must be wrong with me.
Yes.
Right? I misunderstood. My parents' neglect must have meant that something was wrong with me. Not that they just were incapable of loving me. But of course, I egoically, as children do, turned it into, I must be unlovable. Something must be wrong with me. And so a lot of us go to therapy with that.
Can I interrupt you on that one just for a moment? Because I just want to offer a different take on that, which is that yes, we do that narcissistically, just as you say, but actually that is a protective purpose. It's an adaptation. Because which is more dangerous for the child to assume that there's something wrong with me that maybe I can fix it and work on it, or that my parents are incapable of loving me.
Yeah.
So even the belief that we're broken is a protective belief in some way. One of the things that I do talk about, but I want to ask you about, because you just touched upon it yourself, just about nature and indigenous wisdom in your own healing.
Nature taught me how to be a human. It restored the naturalness to what had been sick in me. Everything I learned about rhythm, a concept like the impermanence of thought and feeling, it's something you could Google. I learned that by watching the tide. And that's not because I'm brilliant. It's because nature taught me. It's because I sat on a cliff long enough to watch the ocean go out. And in Alaska, it takes 6 hours and to come back in with big tides up there. And it dawned on me, nothing is permanent in all of this nature I'm seeing around me. What would make me so arrogant as to think I'm the only thing in all of nature that would stay the same forever? How funny. And so the feeling that I'm having isn't forever. I just have to sit and let the tide go out. And that was my mantra. Sometimes the tide's just out. It'll come back in. And that's why I never killed myself. I was in some really tough spots, but that one lesson I learned from nature, I knew that feeling would last forever. Not everybody had that experience from nature. Not everybody knew the natural rhythm to things. And so they think that thought and that feeling is permanent. And if you're going to feel that way the rest of your life, why on earth would you want to stay here? I get it. But I learned that from nature.
Thank you, Gabor and Jewel. Jewel and her Inspiring Children Foundation youth leader, Sherial Odell, I really hope I'm saying that right, have created these amazing Inspire cards to create meaningful connection through conversation. While we bring in our next artist, answer one of Jewel's Inspire card questions in the chat below. Ready? Who has had the most positive impact on your life and why? Now remember, you can donate to Inspiring Children Foundation and One Mind by clicking the link below or going to the wellness-experience.com.
This organization is giving youth the tools to really become the best they can be in every area of life.
The foundation saw me and saw my struggles and took me in. Our foundation is in dire need of support. We might be in a position where we're gonna have to turn people away.
And what we're asking from you is $1 a day. We've never turned away anybody, and the last thing we wanna do is start now. So thank you for your support.
Absolutely killing it. These guys rock. I have another Inspire card question for you. What was the highlight of your World Mental Health Day? Comment in the chat. Now I want to hand it over to Dr. Mark Watkins, Chief Medical Officer at the Kroger Company, who has helped make this summit and this concert possible. Thank you, Dr. Watkins.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Watkins, Chief Medical Officer at the Kroger Company, and also served as a medical officer in the United States Navy. Today, I'd like to bring attention to the fact that the Veterans Administration reports that approximately 22 veterans die by suicide every day. Mental health in the veteran community is a serious and growing concern, not only for vets, but for everyday people. And I'm grateful that we here at Kroger are supporting mental health in our associates, customers, and as a company through the wellness experience. If you or someone you know is struggling, please ask for help. Please check out our resources at thewellness-experience.com.
I wanted to introduce our next act, Michaela Bryan. I first heard her at the Wellness Experience. She's been singing at some of our live open mics with the foundation, but getting to see her on stage at the Wellness Experience was a whole other thing. She sings with all of her heart, and I know that you'll love her. Michaela Bryan.
Your philosophy's an clock, moved you almost side, and you speak of your loved ones as I come so strong my guitar. Excuse me, guess I'm mistaking you for somebody else, somebody who gave a damn, somebody more like myself in these foolish games are tearing me apart, and your thoughtless words are breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart. You're always brilliant in the morning, smoking your cigarette and talking over coffee. Thank you.
Hey guys, it's such an honor to be here tonight. Thank you, Jewel, for inviting me to perform for your World Mental Health Day concert. When I was very young, I found that music could help me to express myself in ways language couldn't, and it's helped me to cope with my anxiety. I also had a supportive family and access to mental health care that too many young people do not have access to. That is why I'm giving all the proceeds from the song I've written for tonight to Inspiring Children Foundation and One Mind. The work they are doing will help to give every kid the kind of support that I was so blessed to receive. I wrote a song specifically for tonight. It's called Freak Out. The song is about how when I write music and it all just comes together, I just freak out. But it's also about how sometimes I get really overwhelmed by my anxiety that I freak out a little bit. But if you listen to the lyrics, you will also hear a little bit about my own experiences and the thoughts that plague my mind at my most overwhelmed times. So here's the song. I hope you like it. Go watch the music video on my YouTube channel when it's out and stream the song wherever you can stream music. And if you can donate, please do. Thanks, and I hope you all had a wonderful World Mental Health Day. Enjoy.
Let me freak out, freak out, freak out in a good way. Need to freak out, freak out. I can never find one moment of peace, even in the silence. These thoughts are not and never to be forgotten. Every little expectation's binding me, every second that I breathe, and I am the one who's telling me I've lost it. But I got no other way for you to understand me. I've got no other way. Let me freak out, freak out, freak out in a good way. Need to freak out so I know what to say. I'm way too overwhelmed, but don't ask me the reason why. Let me freak out, freak out. Nothing wrong is they laughed at me, writing a song that no one will sing, perfecting my voice electronically. It's seen as a sin by the nobody. Gonna be the only one showing up to my own show. Fans are growing up, leaving me alone. Hate my song all you want, but why you gotta let everybody know? 'Cause I've got
I'm definitely not freaking out because that's the name of the song, Don't Freak Out. So I'm not freaking out. That wasn't even funny. Anyway, the concert is not over yet. We still have Hunter Hayes waiting to perform, and Jewel will be appearing to show off her one-of-a-kind voice.
I was a very happy-go-lucky kid. I was always playing sports and socializing. I had a lot of friends. I was pretty popular. And then my world pretty much overnight, unfortunately, came crashing down on me. I had insomnia, and then I had my psychotic break. Had a great support network growing up, always had loving family and friends, especially the love of my parents. And they saw that something was not right with me. I wasn't able to articulate myself like I had been before. I was telling them that I was hearing voices. I was very paranoid. So they got me treatment right away, and I firmly believe that early intervention is a must in all cases of psychosis and mental illness. I think that it is maybe the most important factor into getting someone fully recuperated.
I would not be here today standing in front of you if it weren't for all the good work of organizations like One Mind. And I can't stress enough how brain health is very important, and you'll make such a big difference in people's lives. And people like you sure as hell saved mine. So thank you very much.
Hi friends, Hunter here again. Thanks again. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you being here. We're glad to have you. And I want to share a song that changed my life in a lot of ways. I wrote this song with a couple friends of mine after a very, very deep conversation. And it's a song I've never written anything like before. And it was so deeply personal that I didn't think I would ever release it. I did release it, and I'm glad I did, because it became the most streamed song, basically the biggest song off of an album called Wild Blue. And what I learned from this song was the more I shared, the more other people felt like they could share. And there's no gift like that. Getting to take my experiences, put them into a song, and know that it's given other people a safe place to talk about it, which is, I feel like, part of why we're here today. So I just want to remind everybody out there, you are not alone. There are always places you can go, people that are thinking of you and there for you. And the last line in the song says, "Dear God, just remind me you don't mess up." I believe that he doesn't. I do think we're all made exactly how we're supposed to be as is. And while we're meant to grow and meant to change and evolve and et cetera, you are enough as is. So if you hear one thing from me tonight, I hope that's it. And I hope you like the song. It's called Dear God.
Here I go again, 3 glasses in, count my sins, home alone again. It's 3 in the morning, just me and my demons at war again. So I'm calling in, you listening. You made a man that's fragile, you made a heart that can break. You showed me the road less traveled, knowing I'm gonna run away. You made me love so hard, when everything I love just leaves. Are you sure there's nothing wrong with me? Why does my life have to hurt so much? Why can't I find any peace or love? And why do I feel like I'm not enough? Dear God, are you sure that you don't mess up? Can we still call it praying if all I do is sitting here cursing your name again? The truth is it's not even you, it's just me that I'm up against. but you made me this. So can we share the blame for this? Oh, after all, you made a man that's fragile. You made a heart that can break. You showed me the road less traveled, knowing I'm gonna run away. You make me love so hard, but everything I love just leaves. Are you sure there's nothing wrong with me? Oh, and why does my life have to hurt so much? Why can't I find any peace or love? And why do I feel like I'm not enough? Dear God, are you sure that you don't mess up? You don't, I know you don't know. I know you don't. I know this ain't for nothing. There's nothing you don't make. I know you got your reasons. This shit's just hard to take. I don't mean to criticize you. I know I'm hard to teach. No, you tell me there's nothing wrong with me. Yeah, but why does my life have to hurt so much? And why can't I find any piece of love? And why do I feel like I'm not enough? Dear God, are you sure that you don't mess up? You don't mess up. You don't mess up. Yeah, dear God, just remind me you don't mess up.
I was on my way with my sister to school. She was getting on to me about making us late.
So we got into a little bit of an argument and it turned into a fight and started to call her names and pull up to the school. And I got out of the car and I slammed the car door shut on her. I had no idea that that would be the last time that I would see her.
Columbine is a normal high school in a normal suburb.
She knew that something bad was going to happen to her.
She was so blunt. She'd say, I'm going to die young. She'd just say it just like that.
She was very vocal about her premonition.
When the shooters approached the school, these were the stairs that they walked up. And when they got to the top of the stairs, that's when they saw Rachel.
Through her writings, there's just an element of premonition or prophetic.
This was more than about me losing a daughter.
Heard on the radio that something was going on at Columbine High School.
During my lunch period, I went to the school library to study for a test. I heard these popping noises coming from outside the school. They started to get louder. And then this teacher ran into the room. She was completely frantic. She ran over to the phone to call the police, and while she was on the phone, she kept yelling at all of us to hide and get underneath the tables.
As we're hearing the popping noises, I started to realize that this was serious and just feeling this dread feeling come over, and I felt like I heard God speak to me and told me to be still. My two friends, as we realized that these were gunshots we were hearing, as the popping noises were getting louder as the shooters came into the school and they're getting closer and closer to the library, just started to freak out. The library was the first room that the two shooters came into, and the first victim was a boy, Kyle, who didn't know to hide. He had a mental disability. His parents said he had the mind like a little kid. He liked simple things, coloring books and panda bears, and he didn't know to hide, and he was a big kid. He became their first target. They went around the room. They came over to where Corey was sitting. Corey was a junior. He wanted to be a Marine, and the first thing that Corey did was he put a girl behind him. And as they came over, he was the only person that day to physically jump out and try to stop. And he actually might have been successful, except there were two of them. They came over to where I was. They saw my friend Isaiah, who was next to me. Isaiah was one of the very few black students in my school, African-American students. And so one of them called the other one over and said, hey, we have an N-word over here. The other shooter came over and drug Isaiah out from underneath the table, calling him racial slurs. And Isaiah was trying to back up. And Isaiah, the last thing he said was, I want to see my mom. Isaiah actually was going to be the first person from his family to graduate. And every day they had a calendar on the fridge, and he would put a red X, and he would tell his mom, one more day down. We buried Isaiah in his cap and gown, this diploma on top of him. And then they turned their guns to my friend Matt and left me underneath that table. And I thought I was gonna die. My ears ringing so loud from the shotgun blast, I thought they were bleeding. And feeling so much fear that I felt like my heart was gonna stop beating. And I asked God to take away my fear after a few minutes of feeling that. And that's when I thought I heard him speak to me and tell me, get out of there. And so I was the first student in the library to stand up and looked around. I saw the shooters were gone. I wasn't sure if they had left or not, but they had left. I yelled at everyone still in the room, let's get out of here. I think they're gone. I heard a girl asking for help. Turned around, there's a girl rocking back and forth, asking for help over and over. And helped to pick her up, and we ran out of an emergency exit. There's a police car, thankfully, outside. And we all run behind the police car, and as soon as we got behind that car, the two shooters were back in the library. So we escaped just in time.
The first thing I did was I called my mom, and I said, Mom, I'm okay, but I think there's something wrong with Rachel. And I don't even know why I said that. I got home. My family was shocked to see me because I had blood all over my clothes. And we were all watching the news, and we were waiting to hear from Rachel. We ended up waiting all night. She didn't call. The next morning we got a phone call from the police department, and they told us that Rachel was the first one that was killed. My mom came down to tell me the news, and I could see on her face that she was just so worried about me and how I was going to take it.
All these people that I was praying for, 30 minutes later, their brothers and sisters were, their brothers and sisters were showing up.
But not your sister.
A victim of the Littleton tragedy was laid to rest today. Rachel Scott was one of the first to die outside the school. She was Columbine High's golden girl.
She was full of life, and anything that she did, she was determined to do and go wherever she wanted to.
I definitely felt broken after the shooting.
When we were moving some furniture around on a Christmas day, and we moved this dresser and saw this tracing of her hands. She traced her hands like this on the back of an old dresser and wrote, "These hands belong to Rachel Joy Scott and will someday touch millions of people's hearts."
We started to go through Rachel's possessions. We knew that she had a number of journals and she liked writing, and we started to see there was this theme that she had.
Just a month before she died, she was in her class. The teacher gives us an assignment, and it was, write a paper if you were your best self, what that would look like. She titles it, My Ethics, My Codes of Life. In it, she says, I have this theory.
I have this theory that if one person can go out of their way to show compassion, then it will start a chain reaction of the same. People will never know how far a little kindness can go.
I began to hear the stories of her and read her writings, and she began to really become a role model to me after she had passed. I didn't know some of the things that she was thinking and feeling. The shooters wanted to make a negative impact on this world, so my decision was that I want to leave a bigger impact, but in a positive way. If I were to meet the shooters now, I wouldn't want revenge on them. I think when I hear their name now, I feel kind of sorry for them. My family, in the months to come, we started to feel a sense of mission with telling Rachel's story. My first presentation I did, I was 18, And I'll continue to share as long as I live, as long as it's making an impact on schools. One of the big things that we're focused on is how you see yourself. Each and every one of us in this room has a great capacity to do great things. I've seen students have a change of heart. I've met students over the years that had planned a school shooting and changed their heart, changed their mind. I challenge students to choose positive influences. Rachel wanted to make a positive difference, so she surrounded herself with the right influences that helped her be a powerful, positive person. I talk about the last time I had with my sister, yelling at her, fighting with her, calling her names. And I challenge the students to find 5 people in their life that mean something to them, that they love, and tell them how much they value them, how much they appreciate them, how much they care about them.
But if one person will go out of their way to show compassion, then it will start a chain reaction of the same. And people will never know how far a little bit of kindness can go. You just may start a chain reaction.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
So today we're working with Kroger's Simple Truth brand. It's natural and organic and free from over 100 artificial preservatives. So here's our spicy harissa breakfast hash.
Gorgeous.
I'd like to drizzle it with some tahini. Yum.
Yum.
Kroger wants to help you get a fresh start with their affordable organic food products, Simple Truth.
And how about inexpensive and organic in the same sentence? How cool is that, right?
Pretty nice to have.
Affordable organic. Who thought that day would come?
Okay, now, from the beginning.
This has truly been incredible. I'm so honored to be a part of this. Thank you so much to Jewel and to Kroger for having me, and to you for tuning in. It's not quite over yet. I'm going to hand it over to Jewel to close us out, but first I wanted to remind you really quickly why we're here again, to share real tools to you to support your mental, physical, and emotional health, but also to raise awareness and funds for One Mind and Jewel's Inspiring Children Foundation, who are working to give access to gold standard mental health care for every child and young adult, and also to fund research that will help us reach a 75% recovery rate for kids who are experiencing serious mental illness. So please click the link below or go to thewellness-experience.com and donate and learn and get involved.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you to Kroger, One Mind, all the sponsors and donors for your support. A big thank you to all of the musicians, experts, athletes, and people who donated their time tonight. If I could leave you with just one tool to add to your tool belt, it would be, let's just maybe use the idea of gratitude, and then I'm going to give you a little science behind why it works. You see, there's only 2 basic states of being. We are either in a dilated, open state or a contracted, tight state. And every thought, feeling, or action leads to one of those 2 states. So start noticing and bringing awareness, which takes mindfulness, which is just conscious presence. So start being present with noticing when you're dilated, when you're open and relaxed, and when you're contracted. One of the best things to hack your way out of a contracted state is gratitude. And there's even a physiological reaction. When your whole body feels gratitude, your blood vessels dilate, your blood pressure drops, The blood flow patterns change in your brain, your biochemicals change. So anything that helps you dilate will have this physiological response. For me, gratitude works great. So try it. To close out the night, I am going to share a few songs. I hope that you enjoy them. We will be continuing to do virtual events, and we will be back live in Cincinnati in August 2022. So make sure you follow us on social media at The Wellness Experience and sign up for our newsletter on our website, thewellness-experience.com.
Hear the clock, 6 a.m. I feel so far from where I've been. I got my eggs and my pancakes too. Got the maple syrup, everything but you. I break the yolks and make a smiley face. I kinda like it in my brand new place. I wipe the spots of the mirror, don't leave the keys in the door, and I never put wet towels on the floor anymore, 'cause dreams last for so long, even after you're gone. And I know that you love me, and soon you will see you were meant for me. I was meant for you. I called my mom and she was out for a walk. Consoled a cup of coffee, but I didn't want to talk. So I picked up the paper, it was more bad news. More hearts being broken, more people being used. But I'm not good in the pouring rain. Saw a movie, it just wasn't the same. It was happy, I was sad, and it made me miss you oh so bad, 'cause dreams last for so long, even after you're gone. And I know that you love me, soon you'll see you were meant for me, and I was meant for you. I go about my business, I'm doing just fine. Besides, what would I say if I had you on the line? Same old story, not much else to say. Hearts are broken every day. Oh. Brush my teeth and put the cat back on. I know you hate it when I leave the lights on, so I pick up a cup and turn the sheets down. Take a deep breath and a good look around. But I'm at BJ's and hop into bed. I'm half alive, but I feel mostly dead. I'm trying to tell myself it'll be alright. I just shouldn't think anymore tonight, 'cause dreams last so long, even after you're gone. And I know that you love me, son, I know you will see you were meant for me. I was meant for you. Yeah, you were meant for me, and I was meant for you.
Jewel, that was a beautiful way to close us out. Kroger is honored to have you as our partner. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight for our World Mental Health Day Summit and Concert. I had an amazing time, and I hope everyone tuning in learned a tip, trick, or took something away from all these wonderful discussions and performances. I'd love to know your biggest takeaway from the event. Please put it in the chat. At Kroger, we are fully committed to our mission of bringing wellness to all. For more content like this event, go to thewellness-experience.com and you'll find all of our past videos, events, and performances from other live streams and our annual in-person festival. Throughout the year, we will host more events focused on bringing you physical, emotional, and mental wellness, and the Wellness Experience Annual Festival will be back in Cincinnati, Ohio in August of 2022. Again, make sure to follow us on social media at The Wellness Experience and sign up for our newsletter at thewellness-experience.com so you don't miss a thing. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see everyone very soon.
Wellness is more important now than ever. Coming out of COVID-19, we saw the devastating effects that COVID has had on our communities and has had on all of our lives. And we really believe in Kroger at trying to bring everyone back together. So wellness is really important not only to the community, but to our individual families.
Brands that I didn't know about that are sold through Kroger, and we are in a running club, and she's a dietitian. We're super into wellness and health, and so this is right up our alley.
Everything all natural. We gotta start pushing in that direction. I think it's getting healthier and healthier, but you see that everywhere around here.
Both enjoyed being a part of the wellness event because there's a lot of great vendors here. There's a lot of knowledge to obtain, so we've enjoyed it tremendously, and just interacting and engaging with the people and talking to them about our different products.
Kroger, thank you so much. It's been a great experience, and I can't wait to be back next year.